Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. And I'm fighting the cough right before we start. It's hard to come correct when you're coughing right as the intro begins. You'll have to bear with me today, guys. Energy levels are low. My insomnia is back, Tom Lang.
It's like a Monday night at the cafeteria in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's
Crazy, man.
kind of a low-energy effort.
No, we'll be all right. I mean, the show will be good. It just won't be as energized as it normally is. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, we got all 3 hours for you posted upon the conclusion of the show right there to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can email the program if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. The WTSM app, good for mobile devices. We're on YouTube as well. Hello, YouTubers. Just type in Jeff Cameron Show or ESPN Tallahassee, and you'll find us. You can also Periscope if you follow us on Twitter at 979ESPNradio. All right. I think it's a kind of catch your breath moment here. You know what I got to give him some love here, some credit right at the beginning of the show. I don't know why I just saw this. I don't know when he posted it. But our friends over at warchant.com, taking after us, of course, and I don't say that begrudgingly, they had Corey do the game-by-game breakdown of the schedule like we did yesterday, which is a tradition on the show. And Corey's a friend and a humorous writer, so I wanted to see what he had to say. But all jokes aside, I was reading that just now. He made a point that I was thinking about yesterday when you and I were going through the schedule. The schedule's really easy. Like, the schedule's easy as hell. If you're any good, you should win 9 games. And that sounds way too optimistic. He didn't make that point. What he said was right before, I think it was I don't know if it was the Syracuse game. Yeah, here's what he wrote. I mean, when you look at the schedule and go game by game, you can really allow yourself a chance to believe, can't you? I mean, obviously, Florida State is not going to be competing for titles in 2019, but if you simply go down the schedule one at a time, you feel like the Noles could put together something special. And I don't disagree with that. When we went through the schedule yesterday, I went, man, the way this lays out, if you beat Boise State, and that's the whole thing, you go over to Jacksonville, win that game, you ought to be 5-0. By the time we get to that Clemson game. You really ought to be. If you're even pretty good, like decent, not good, not as in, hey, we're playing on New Year's Day, we're making it to the playoffs. No, just decent.
That's why if we're 5-0, don't hold a parade, but say, okay, competence. We're good. Now we look like we're solid here. Things are getting organized.
It sets up to have even more pressure, doesn't it? In a weird way, because part of the excuse-making or legitimate discussion surrounding last year's nightmares 5-7, there were a lot of talking points. There was injury to offensive linemen and things like that, new staff inheriting a mess of a locker room and all these different things. But the other part of it was the schedule. It was hard. It was a real hard schedule. So you kind of went through all this and you said, well, I guess it all adds up to, a long year and the end of a bowl streak. You don't have that excuse this year because it's now fully your program, and the schedule's a hell of a lot easier. I mean, they could not have done you any more favors than they did, basically, the ACC.
Yeah, short of us moving the game back to Tallahassee for the opener.
That would have been nice, or, I mean, really, there's nothing else they could have done. I can't stress that enough, that you ought to walk into, if you're Florida State, with Florida State's athletes and all of that, and you're coached competently, you got to just walk into 7-8 wins with very little trouble. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Obviously, we got to play the games, and injuries happen, and there's all this other stuff to inform the talking points before each game. But just sitting here going, hey, if you know what you're doing at all, and you really minimize the kind of stupid stuff that we saw on special teams and the disorganization, if you will. If you minimize that and you get a average showing from your offensive line, like not good, just average. Like you can, the guys aren't just getting to the quarterback inside of 1 second.
No, if you're average, then you're going to win 9 games this year minimum.
That's what I mean.
Yes, but it's a tall order because you got to build chemistry, and there are a lot of projects or cast-offs. You know what I mean? Like this isn't exactly the island of 4 and 5 stars. It's more the island of misfits that are coming in, but it still could all work out because they may be more quote unquote professional, than the last group, which was Swiss cheese.
Yeah, give me a group that cares about playing football, that wants to be out there, that cares for each other, that is committed to the game, committed to the school, committed to their teammates, committed to the staff, committed to football. Yeah, give me that. Give me a group that's in lockstep with that schedule, and you do win 9 games minimum. I know. I keep saying it out loud, but I'm going through the games. I'm like, well, you get Wake right after Clemson, so even if you're licking your wounds, you're going to win that game. You got a bye week, basically 3 weeks to prepare for Florida at the end of the year. Not that you're going to – I'm not saying you're beating Florida necessarily. I'm not saying you're not, but you got Alabama State in a bye prior. That's 3 weeks to prepare for Florida.
That's how they usually have it with us, like always.
Yeah.
So that's nice for a change.
Yeah, you have a legitimate shot there.
It's like a bowl game before a bowl game.
But I hear myself saying, too, like, okay, I'll grant you going up to BC late in the year when it's cold and with the brand of football they play, and it's tough for us to play there.
A money year for their tailback.
Yeah, all that stuff.
They got decimated a little bit on the line there.
On the offensive line, they did, yeah. And they lose some key figures on defense. So I don't know what they're going to be, but what I'll tell you is, okay, if you were to say, Jeff, I could see Florida State losing that game. Well, fine, but it's not absurd to think we beat Boston College you know what I mean? As you do this, you go through these games. You got Miami at home. You were awful last year, and you still went down there and almost beat them. You were up 27-7, and they had it rolling at that time. They were feeling good about themselves, and so you're going to be in that game. That'll be a close game. It could go either way, right? Do we think Syracuse is going to sustain this season they just had?
Well, I do think with Syracuse, if you look at them, probably Wake and BC, I think you lose one of those unexpectedly. If you're just going by the law of averages.
Syracuse, Wake, and BC, you think we lose one of those three?
I think you could lose to Wake on the road because, no, they drop points left and right. And if you're licking your wounds, you could walk into a first quarter where you're down like 17-3 or something, and that's how this happens, man. Nobody expected us to lose to Syracuse until we got blown out by Syracuse.
Blown out. Yes, that's when we found out the team was a mess. That game was the first moment in which we went, they've got some problems in the coaching arena.
If you're an 8 or 9 win team with this schedule, you are susceptible to losing to a team like Wake Forest. I think so, yes.
They wouldn't be the one I'd pick. We blew that team's ass out, and we were awful last year. Assuming we're competent this year, even a little bit, I think we go there and blow them out again. They're just not any good. I don't know what it is. We move the ball on them. We do whatever we want on them. I think we'll.
I'm not picking the Wake game specifically. What I am saying is of those three, you're going to lose one. Yeah, you're probably going to lose one of those.
Okay. I'm not going to disagree.
The fact that I'm picking we win 2 is a good thing.
Well, I would group a lot of these games in the same way. The NC State game, if you want to tell me maybe we struggle there, maybe. They don't have Ryan Finley back. So, again, and that game's at home. That's why I go through, again, I keep going through this schedule going, really? Where are these losses? And you're right to say, where were they last year, Jeff? We lost 7 times. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Agreed. I'm placing competence on this group.
Yeah.
That they still have to earn. You're right. Assuming they do that, assuming they show themselves to be competent, and we're not ravaged by injury, which you can't predict and all that, this is an easy-ass schedule. Mm-hmm. We have better players, even with all the recruiting we still need to do, in all the areas of concern that we have. Suffice to say, Florida State has better players than Boise State, Louisiana Monroe, Virginia, Louisville, NC State, Wake, Syracuse, Boston College. I'm just by having better players, let alone home field and all that other stuff, I can just stumble into 8 wins.
Yeah, I didn't put NC State in that class because I think they're going to lose an awful lot, and that's earlier in the year. Tallahassee Heat. That's got some bad news written all over it for NC State. The Wake one, the only reason it's really there is because they can score in bunches. So if you can't stop them on a given day, then they're in the game. And it's right off of Clemson. So that's the thing. You got to go right back on the road. So you come home for a couple of days, you go right back on the road. It's a sleepy game. Hey, man, it'll be a sleepy noon kick. People will be enjoying some Pinot Grigio and Chardonnay on the lawn.
Snuggy Hill.
Right. And then it's they score in their first 3 possessions, and you go, well, what the hell is this?
I don't think so, but okay. I got you. I know what you're saying. a team like that, a game like that. You know, I was laughing. I was sitting there going through this, and then when I was reading what he wrote, I'm like, man, we haven't talked in a few days, and I thought, man, he and I think exactly alike. And that's what I was telling my dad last night, which is that, man, that schedule could not have come out and really read any better than it did. As soon as we saw it yesterday, we were both like, wow, thanks, ACC. It's been a while. When was the last time you did us any favors, huh? The answer was yesterday. Like, there you go. Here's a gift, boys. You've got everything you could want here. I am setting this up to say, my man, let's go now. You got a gift here. You ought to accidentally win 8 games with that schedule. Let's go.
The university power structure should say thank you to the ACC, because we'll know. Now we'll know by the end of this year, unless something crazy happens. This is a very clean mirror that you're handing us to point to ourselves.
You don't do something good with this schedule, you're just not going to. We're just, okay, you're not the guy. I want him to be the guy. I'm rooting for the guy, and he still has a chance to be. I'm not saying he's not. What I'm saying is you go through next year and you struggle like you struggled in year one. With this schedule, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, listen, I try to come on here and be as honest as possible on a regular basis, and I tell you who I'm rooting for and who I'm not rooting for, and you all know who my biases are with and all that stuff. But when we're bad, I'll tell you we're bad. If we suck at something, I say we suck. And if I think somebody should be fired, I say that too. You have a lousy year with this schedule in year 2, man,
but you could be 8-4 and be making big strides.
Big strides, yeah, because you could have a road loss to Clemson and a road loss to Florida, and a
couple of hiccups along the way. Well, okay. Wait a minute. So is 8-4 a little? There's not an 8-4 path out there that would please you. By the end of the season.
What would it be?
It probably includes a loss to Boise in week 1.
It probably does. It would probably have to, and that's not going to please me. And then I would also say that maybe you'd have to throw in a loss to Virginia on the road. Isn't that what you have to do?
Okay.
So this is what I'm telling you. You're going to have to find 2 games. If you're giving me 4 losses, you have to find 2 games that are going to be unsatisfactory to the fan base. That we're going to go, what in the world? Okay, it happens. We've got a long way to go. We're trying to turn it around. We were 5-7 last year. I got it. It's not going to change overnight. We're not going 12-0. But, man, find me those 2 games that you go, yeah, but if they lost that game, nobody would be enraged. They'd understand. No. I can find 2 games like that. I can find the road Clemson game, which everybody goes, yes, if it's even within 21 points, I'm pleased. And that's not good. And then maybe the Florida game on the road at the end of the year. Maybe, if they continue to improve.
Well, if you're middling, you're going to be vulnerable in these games that you don't envision, because we're looking at it from Florida State flexing its muscle standpoint, not the reality of who we've been the last 2 or 3 years.
No, true. We weren't good 2 years ago. We weren't good 3 years ago. But when we weren't good 3 years ago, what did we win, 9 regular season games?
Yes, but we were pissed after the North Carolina game.
Livid.
All the same.
Livid. No, I was mad. No. I'm not saying I won't be mad in certain spots. I'm saying legitimately this is an easy-ass schedule. This is, if you're competent, it's hard to lose 4 games with this schedule. It's hard.
Okay, so they better go 9-3 or else?
No, I need to see
injury luck holding and all that kind of stuff.
I need to see what we are week to week, health wise. I need to see what we're doing to plug that offensive line. I need to see who's starting up front, and I'll have a better feel. Obviously, we're all going to go through spring and cover that, and we're all going to, National Signing Day is coming up, and we'll put a ribbon on this class, and we'll know exactly what we have. We'll know about any transfers that are coming in, any JUCOs. I mean, that's going to be important.
We'll have a quarterback, I could say with confidence that Boise State kicking the ball off, right? We have a quarterback.
We have one.
So there will be one there.
There will be a quarterback on the team.
Which is good.
It's hard to find 4 losses. I'm telling you.
Okay,
I'm telling you.
So that's not that's a hard floor at 3 losses there. That's the expectation.
Yeah. I mean, right now, on the 17th of January, it's
see how
hard.
They evaluated the offensive line. Maybe these kids can't play. I don't know.
Well, we got to see that group. We got to see that group. If they can't play, then I'll say, well, screw it. We're going to suck again, and he's done. But, I mean, I'm good. I am applying, once again, right off the bat, I'm applying competence. Just a level of competence. Some people out there are screaming at the radio, I don't see it. I don't think it exists, Jeff. I do. His track record says it does. So, okay. Let's get that application going. Just apply that right here. Let's lube up the competence.
Oh, yeah. Get it going.
Get it going. Let's go. Let's rub that in. There we go. Everybody's feeling that confidence.
Only 7.5 months.
There we go. Well, 7.5 months for those practices. But when does the spring game?
Oh,
Yeah, right around the corner, Tom. I mean, it's practically here.
that's going to be a hot ticket.
Victim or small.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Bar. Sport Radar AG, a data provider backed by the NFL and Michael Jordan, is launching a new sports gambling marketing company seeking to capitalize on the rapidly growing billion-dollar industry. The company will help sports books reach new customers through TV, radio, internet, and digital video marketing. It will also help companies navigate local jurisdictions' laws and regulations regarding gambling ads. ESPN's ex-president is trying to beat his former employer at its own game. John Skipper is trying to become the Netflix of sports. Skipper, the executive chairman of sports media startup DAZN, has just signed boxer Canelo Alvarez to the richest athlete contract in sports history, a $365 million agreement for the rights to broadcast his next 11 fights. And that is a Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Michael Barr, brought to you by Grainger. For safety and industrial supplies, Grainger's got your back. Visit Grainger.com.
Not many things scare me, kid. Vampires, werewolves, children, not one bit. But you know what does scare me? Downtime, inefficiency, scares the living daylights out of me. That's why I use Grainger. They're America's #1 source for industrial supplies. Plus, they've got the inventory management solutions that keep us running. So we've got uptime, we've got efficiency, we've got productivity. When it comes to keeping your facility running, Grainger's got your back. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere. Or here.
Or here!
One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Gene Declaroff for Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. 2019 is here, and we've got to get rid of all the remaining 2018s. And the only way to do that is to offer employee pricing on over 50 Jeep Wranglers in stock. We've never been able to offer such unbelievable prices on Jeep Wranglers. And with over 50 in stock, they all must go. Buy one for as low as $29,900 or save up to $5,600 on in-stock vehicles. The all-new 2019 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and it's breaking all kinds of records. We have over 80 Ram 1500s in stock with up to $11,000 off MSRP. You can't go wrong. Motor Trend Truck of the Year and up to $11,000 off MSRP. It's the deal of the year. There's only one place to go. Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Or visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Dealer retains all rebates and incentives plus tax, tag, and dealer fee.
It began with a challenge from the game's greatest players, a mission to solicit speed from every detail of the driver. The new Titleist TS2 and TS3 drivers were born from the pursuit of speed. And now Edwin Watts Golf challenges you to find a faster driver than the new Titleist TS2 or TS3 by participating in the Faster Than Yours challenge, exclusively at Edwin Watts Golf. For a limited time, test your current driver against the new TS2 and TS3 drivers, and you could win a $200 gift card. Come take the Titleist challenge today, exclusively at Edwin Watts Golf for a limited time only.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know what the Chiefs do a lot better than anyone else? And Chris Collinsworth pointed this out. They zig when others zag. When others are zigging, and they zig when others are zagging. They're really good at it.
I don't know what that means.
Collinsworth pointed it out.
What does that mean?
I didn't even think about it, but once he said it, I'm like, he's right.
And he is right about that. It's great analysis.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jay Cameron Show, listening to W's and L's from yesterday's show and loving it. I'm splitting the difference between you and @_Tom Lang, going 9-3. There you go.
Which is the Cameron Show floor. Now, that's the expectation.
That is. I mean, I like that you're pitting that on me now. I did say, let's find out if we get the offensive line fixed to a degree. That's the caveat. I'm not kidding. I think about it. Understanding that nobody saw 7 losses coming. Not the most or the least, not the least optimistic amongst us. Even if you thought, he's inheriting a mess, our offensive line's not very good. I don't know, guys. This could be a 7-5 campaign. Like, nobody was out here going, bowl streak's over, we're going to have a losing year. Nobody. And even people who hated the hire wouldn't have thought that. So I understand that. Man, look at that schedule. It's hard to find 4 losses. Wake sucks, man. What are we talking about? They suck. Stop it.
Well, I mean, we need to be able to get stops, dude. That's going to be important here. And they'll be better than last year because they had some young quarterback play.
We got stops on them last year, and we were awful.
That was before NC State put the film out there. We're vulnerable until we're not. I know that's a voice-cracking way of sounding like the Geico guy, Yogi Berra, the deceased catcher.
Mm-hmm.
We're vulnerable till we're not, but that's true. Until we can prove beyond reasonable doubt.
You sound like me talking to my kids. I tell Clark all the time, you get the benefit of the doubt until you don't.
Right.
I mean, and then we're done here.
Right, and there is no benefit right now.
Yeah.
It's all doubt, so you got to get that benefit back. You got to show me on your credit report. All right. Got them those things squared away.
What would it have to look like? Would it be 5-0 to start the year, and then you'd be like, okay, well, we're fixed?
Honestly, I think they could lose a game, but if they look like they're building towards something and they just look like they're well coached top to bottom. I mean, the offensive line is of course a huge piece of the puzzle.
Pretty much everything.
It's a bigger piece of the puzzle, but you got to look organized on top of it, because if you're organized on top of having good players, then you're not going to lose to teams you shouldn't lose to.
This is what happens when we're not organized.
This is what happens. You add that to the offensive line, and you got yourself a season.
I wonder. I don't normally think about these things because it would be more difficult to do my job if I did. But I always wonder, and I know that they do sometimes because I'll hear back later on about it. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But I always wondered if Jimbo ever heard that clip or heard us talking about him and imitating him with the voice that we use for him in that particular mode. This is what happens when we're not organized, because we talked about it all the time.
100% he did, because when we were at his final ACC meetings, he left the table after he did the interview with you. He looked at you, he looked at me, and he said, "Children," and then he walked away. Why would you say that?
Well, I mean, I think he was just...
He was smirking. He wasn't, being a jerk. He was smirking. He was like, children.
Right.
Goodbye.
Well, no, there were times that he told me that I made him laugh where he disagreed with me, but he heard something I said about him or made an assessment where he was like, well, I don't agree, but that's funny. Like, he had a sense of humor occasionally, every now and again. I just ever wondered if he knew that we thought of him screaming at Doss that day that we heard him say that was the funniest thing that we had heard him say. And that's still one of my favorites. He's furious with him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do yell at him. I hate his guts.
He yelled at him incessantly.
Good coach, though.
Every time we would be out there, he's yelling at Lawrence Dossie, and I would crack up. I'm like, man, that's where Doss came from, because it's every other play. Doss! I mean, a tailback could fumble on outside zone, and somehow the very first words out of his mouth was, Doss! He's just enraged. He had to be the guy that bore the brunt of the frustration about anything.
He and I could have gone to a restaurant. I said, no mayo on the sandwich. Mayo was on the sandwich. He'd be mortified. I go, Doss!
Yes. That's
Why's
exactly
there mayo on the sandwich?
This is ridiculous. But that organized line was perfect. Tennessee has reported a minor NCAA violation that involved athletic director Philip Fulmer. All right, Fat Phil. He wants to win. He was instructing offensive linemen during a football practice. Can't do it. This was one of 8 level 3 violations that Tennessee reported over the past 6 months. They were obtained through a public records request by the Knoxville News-Sentinel. Fulmer, of course, the former head coach, was attending a practice when he gave instructions to 2 offensive linemen, which, according to the NCAA rules and bylaws, is a violation. Can't be, unless you're an official member of the coaching staff, you can't be down there coaching.
Well, also with the support staff, got to be careful with those things.
Well, and that's, okay, so you're reading my mind here. That's where I was going to go into some of this stuff about what hasn't gotten done here in terms of hiring and the support staff and all that other stuff. I keep hearing people say, well, can't we just say that this guy is the receivers coach, but really he's the guy behind the scenes, and Dugans is this other thing, but really he's the receivers coach, and the only time it really matters is on game day when he's not on the sidelines? No, probably can't do that.
I like that plan.
I like that plan, and I hope they do it and get away with it, most importantly, but, I mean, they're really having to jump through hoops here and figure this stuff out.
If you have the quarterback club visitor come, the speaker, and they get to watch practice, maybe we return to the way the paper says everything goes. But then when practice is closed down, hey, man, do what you got to do.
Part of the penalty suffered there by Tennessee was that he was prevented from attending football practice for 5 days. What? Some of these rules for the NCAA are hilarious.
Do you think if a coaching staff were to do something like that, cut some corners with some rolls on the field, that maybe the officials, like the old man at the Alabama, practices that have been doing officiating for them for decades?
That was a cool story.
Think they're on the take? You think they ever leverage that and say, well, you can't do that, coach, but you've been doing it for 2 weeks, so I understand. I'll keep my mouth shut. It's no big deal. Just wanted you to know that I know.
Yeah, I think in certain places you could do that. In certain others, your brakes would stop working. I think there's it's not a negotiation.
Doss, get his brakes.
Yeah, in certain situations, I think you could say that, where they adhered to rules and could be, I guess, strong-armed in that way or blackmailed in that way because they're really worried about violating the rules. But certain other places where they take football very seriously, well, they would look at that as a threat, Tom.
But what if you could word it like Brimley, That's the kind of thing the NCAA is interested in. So if I ever see anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah. You'll come to us, right, Mitch?
So you won't get in trouble.
Won't you now, Mitch? It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Time now for your Tampa Bay Lightning Minute, brought to you by Township of Tallahassee.
Tonight in Tampa Bay, the first-place Lightning hosts second-place Toronto for their second meeting of the 2018-2019 campaign. Tampa holds a commanding 16-point lead over Toronto in the standings, and things are tightening up in the Atlantic Division in positions 2 through 4. This is the Lightning's second-to-last game before a prolonged week-and-a-half off in which the NHL All-Star break combines with their bye week. The Bolts took the first game of the season series with Toronto 4-1 back on December 13th, a night where the team's top netminder returned to the lineup with fury. Andrei Vasilevsky stopped 48 of 49 shots, a franchise record, to mask the type of defensive breakdowns the Lightning are still trying to tighten up this month. Tampa Bay is coming off a 3-game road trip in which it went 2-1, and after tonight's tilt with the Maple Leafs, the Lightning host the red-hot San Jose Sharks on Saturday night. With your Lightning Report, I'm Tom Lang.
At Township and College Town, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins and a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. Oh, and let's not forget the 32 taps and private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
Live life. Head on. Take every shot. And when it comes to tax season, go for the win with Liberty Tax. Because while you do life, we do taxes. Bounce into a Liberty Tax by February 16th and we'll give you $50 cash for filing with us. Send in a friend, and when they complete their return, we'll give you another $50. Stop by today or visit LibertyTax.com. Liberty Tax. You do life, we do taxes.
Located at 2210 North Monroe Street next to Chick-fil-A. Call 597-8248.
Napa know-how.
Right now, you can get a $20 prepaid Visa gift card by mail with the purchase of a Napa Legend Premium Battery. Its durability and power make it the obvious choice for people who hate getting stranded by a dead car battery. So pretty much everyone. The Napa Legend Premium Battery and $20 back. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Limit 2 per household while supplies last. Offer ends 2/28/19.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi, breaking news.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
At Jay Cameron Show, at _Tom Lang, listening to you guys talk about your favorite Jimbo-isms. Which one would be the caption for his statue? Dose! Society. Jameis Y, Jameis no. 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 Jameis Y, Jameis no. 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 It's always one of my favorites.
Jameis Y, Jameis no. No. No.
That's the spring game. No.
They mic'd him up, and he went after Bobo pretty hard in that game, too.
That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for good reason. The last good one he had that we could all hear was when Emmett Rice laid the wood.
Who was that? Was that Naquan he hit?
That was Naquan. He drilled.
Yeah. He sure did, too.
It was great. I was proud of him.
In hindsight, yeah.
I was like, good. Well done.
I can do this.
He wasn't fooling around, was he?
Hopefully he gets healthy. That would be a nice depth addition at the very least at that position.
Well, and that's actually something, too, when we're doing all this predicting. I mean, honestly, you and I are talking about records and things that have to happen. We repeatedly mentioned the offensive line because that's a given, but the linebackers were terrible a year ago. So that's a unit that has to get a lot better, to your point about making stops. And, of course, we got to be able to cover somebody. So there's a lot to talk about here.
Not really good at the linebacker level. Well, how about your secondary? You said
Not very
preseason
good.
you were going to like them.
Not very good
They
there
don't really
either.
cover guys. They're not good in zone, and they're not really good at covering man-to-man.
Really struggled. Safeties can't cover anybody. So
I think Asante is going to be a decent player as he develops, and with Bolden back, as long as he's back up to full speed, there's potential there to go along with some of the younger kids and maybe finding a better home for Jaden Woodby in year 2.
Yeah. Who is a player. And he's just a football player, right? That guy is awesome. I thoroughly enjoy watching him play, stick his head in there, unafraid, asked to play out of position all year long, had to do lots of things that you wouldn't expect a freshman to be able to do, and he did.
Well, and here you go with Levante Taylor, too. A show-improved season for him. There's nothing he could do in camp to get people excited because he was dominant in camp in the fall, and then it turned out to be pretty bad all season long. But, if he's playing with fractures, okay, here's your chance to show you that, yes, it was an injury and not a lack of aptitude.
Yeah, I thought it was important to find out that he was hurt, to the extent that he was, because that really was a dud of a season. And we were all like, well, we had this wrong completely.
Well, I think that's why we moved Stanford back to safety, was because he looked so good at corner. They thought, all right, well, we can get away with it with Bolden or Myers or somebody else at corner. So let's get Stanford Samuels to play the Zeus position. Might you want to move him back to corner? He looks pretty natural there.
He does, yeah. No, I know people are so soured, and understandably so, and frustrated, but I am really excited about spring. I'm really excited for this class to get signed. I want to know what we're working with. I'm excited to hear about the transfers. Let's go. It's going to be a hard offseason. It just is. I'm eager to see it, get right, just as a fan, just wanting this to get right. I'm eager for that to happen because I like a lot of the guys that we're having to criticize. I do. Whether it's there's certain players we've had to rip that I like, whose toughness is not in question and all that other stuff. And then I like the coaches. They got to do a better job.
Yeah, Stanford and Levante, it's a broken record if you go back to last season's preseason, but if they're your corners and they're good, they have the nastiness that Harlan Barnett wants. They're not afraid to come up and hit you. They're not afraid to come up and jam and talk some smack. They can set a tone for you on the outside to go along with Woodby in the middle, and some of these young kids who apparently are nasty. Okay, you might have some pieces to work with here, but wouldn't it be nice to have that nasty identity we thought we were going to have? It was the two principles we heard about in preseason camp. You're going to run the ball, you're going to stop the run. No, not really.
We didn't do anything well, Tom. when you talk about it out loud, and you think about it more and more, we just didn't really do anything very well at all.
Well, we didn't stop the run against anybody that
could run.
Good.
Yeah. And we didn't run the ball successfully, but we couldn't block at all. And of course that affected the entirety of the offense. And so we just didn't do anything well. There was really nothing that you walked away from in that campaign and thought, oh, that's fixed.
No.
Terrible on special teams.
It's like Tamorian Terry is in a bubble.
Yeah, he's a guy.
He's an untouchable bubble. And then everything else has at the very least, like Marvin Wilson. Talked about this yesterday.
Very
in between
good
segments.
player. Might want to start him.
Right. It's like
he's
good everything.
God, man.
He's everything it means to be an Ole. Okay, well, I'd like to see
How
him
about
earlier
you play him
in that NC State drive where they open up and go down the field.
Right down the damn field.
I want to get him on the field.
Yes. That was one of the great mysteries that got buried in the midst of the larger conversation was why the hell by the middle of the season at least was he not starting?
Well, Christmas had a terrible year. When he came back, we thought that was going to be a massive development for the defense.
Not at all.
Ended up being an anchor.
Damn it, man. Why did we begin the show like this today? Was there one thing that you thought, okay, I like that? Jaden Woodby.
Tamorrion
Terry, Marvin Wilson, we're done here. No, that's not true. Because individually, we had moments. Trayshawn Harrison had moments, right? LeVorn, there's a kid that if he doesn't get hurt, who knows? We were excited about him. The skill positions, there were plenty of guys that would flash.
Trayshawn saw the field just marginally more than LeBourne.
It doesn't make any sense, though. That's the thing that, well, okay, I'm not going to relive this. I'm not doing this.
He's going to make mistakes. We weren't willing to live with the mistakes he was going to make on the fly, clearly.
Yes, they had decided that they were just not going to allow that to happen because, man, you'd see a guy featured for a minute, and you'd go, I like that. Let's feature that. That guy looks like he's going to be a problem for defenses everywhere. And then, is that guy on the team? Whatever happened to that guy? We said that like about 4 different players this year.
And don't fall for Keyshawn Helton nonsense in preseason either because he was unstoppable. Then we didn't see him. Then he came in for that Clemson game, and he house called it. Yes, it was garbage time. We said, okay. And Trayshawn's blocking for him all the way down the field. You think, yes, look at this. All right, we're going to flip the switch. These kids, they got their little 2 reps.
We're going all in with the kids. Here it comes.
And then they're
gone. We're not. Yeah, you go ahead and play the South Park clip over and over again. That was us all
George
last year.
Campbell's running out there in Notre Dame, and you're saying, what?
Why is George Campbell on the field? I hate to single out kids who are giving their all and doing everything they can to be the best player they can, especially if they end up having a multitude of, injuries and things to deal with that aren't their fault. George Campbell falls in that category of profound disappointments in the last number of years where he's on that list where you're like, damn it, man, that guy was here for 17 years. We kept holding out hope that someday would be the day, and it never happened. Someday never comes. Quote CCR. It just doesn't for him. Now, maybe, somewhere in a arena league or something, but I mean.
But it's not about him. It's about the shock value of, wait, the depth chart means what? That he climbed it all the way back up. Where did that come from?
I'm not mad at him.
It's not about him. It's about what that meant. It was like you couldn't find him. We thought maybe he wasn't dressing for games. Maybe he's done. He quit playing football.
Surgery or something. And all of a sudden he's out there.
It's like there's a target to Campbell. Well, they just keep throwing. Was Campbell like the guy that we were installing for this week?
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. The Notre Dame game encapsulates the season in a lot of ways. We walked into that stadium, you and me and Matt and others, and we just kind of went in there and thought, there's no chance whatsoever to beat this team today. And neither of us thought they were very good. I know what their record said. I know that they are well coached and all that, but we just thought from a physical standpoint, player for player, that they weren't that great a team. And it got exposed.
And they sat their starter.
Yes, sat their starter, had a 5-man box repeatedly. Here's a 5-man box for that ass. You have more players to block us with than we have in this box, and we don't think you can. We don't think that even with double teams, you can block us.
You guys are feeling cold, aren't you?
It was just bizarre. We were like, really? There's a 5-man box. You might as well line up and shoot us double birds as you line up.
With the cameras. We did get under center, though, a couple of times in that game. Short yardage. That was cool. That was all right.
Yeah, but that's on the list of things to be upset about and complain about and rekindle the memory of as we go down memory lane for some reason today of a season lost. That's so far down the list of complaints.
Well, I think what happened is the schedule kind of shook the tree, and now like the last couple of apples of hate are coming out. In frustration.
Get like, that one's dying. It's gonna spoil the rest. Get it off there. Yeah, well, I think the final apple is DeAndre. You got to shake that tree hard to get that apple to fall.
You need Braun Strowman.
You just shake the hell out of that. Oh. Get you a MyPillow, friends. Go to MyPillow.com, where you'll find the 4-pack special. Kicking ass. Waiting on you. You go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code 979ESPN. You'll get 4 of these bad boys. 2 MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Money back guarantee. Free shipping. You can wash them. You can dry them. They don't lose their shape. They're made right here in good old USA. And I'm telling you, I love them. So get you one. MyPillow.com. It's a 4-pack special. Use the promo code 979ESPN. It ships free. You'll be sleeping so well come February when you get your pillows. Let's go. MyPillow.com.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Again with savings from the City of Tallahassee.
What do you mean?
The City of Tallahassee offers rebates for up to $300 in savings when you purchase energy-efficient appliances.
Wow, that would be a huge help.
The city also offers free energy audits.
What's an energy audit?
It's when an energy auditor comes to your home at the time that's convenient for you, examines your structure, and checks your energy and water systems. Then, they recommend changes that could save you energy, water, and money. The city also offers free ceiling insulation grants for qualifying customers.
Man, the city sure offers a lot of ways to save money. Once we land, I would check out all of the products and services the city has to offer. This makes me proud to call Tallahassee home.
Thank you for flying with us today. Don't forget that you can take off with savings with the City of Tallahassee. From rebates for Energy Star appliances to insulation grants. You can save energy, water, and money. Visit talgov.com for more information.
Yo, where the hell are you? Dude, I'm here, sitting at the bar. Where are you? The hell you are? I've been here for 30 minutes. Erroneous. BS. I've been sitting at this bar for 3 hours drinking pecan whiskey. We said Pensacola, dude. Why would we meet there? We're old men, and that's for the kids. Hashtag Northsiders. Did you just hashtag me? Hashtag hell yes.
See you in 30. Get the mahi and a beer. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to 4hims.com/perform. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/perform. That's 4hims.com/perform for your first month for just $5. 4hims.com/perform.
See website for full details. Not all services through the Hims platform are available in all 50 states.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Recently, I've seen a lot of commercials from attorneys and public adjusters trying to cash in on the hurricane damages to your home or business. Using these individuals could result in a reduction in your insurance claim reimbursement. As a licensed roofing and general contractor, we know how to navigate insurance claims so that you don't have to share your reimbursement with an attorney or a public adjuster. If you have questions, give us a call. Our advice is free. Turning your claim over to an attorney or a public adjuster is not.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Sunday, it's the championship round of the NFL playoffs as we bring you a special doubleheader. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Los Angeles Rams head to the Big Easy to take on Drew Brees and the Saints. Then Tom Brady and the New England Patriots go for a third straight AFC championship when they take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Who will advance to Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta? Hear the playoff picture unfold right here
on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
On the phone.
Short segment here, so I'll just mention, did you see Serena's return and her win the other night?
I saw just a still, but yeah.
She cruised to victory. She says she wants to own the slam record and put it out of reach and all that other stuff. That got me to thinking that I didn't realize this, but did you know that Novak Djokovic, who we talked about the other day, started last year 6-6 in his first 12 matches? No reason for anybody to think he was on the cusp of a return. He fell all the way to 22nd in the world. The rest of the year, his record was 47-6. He won Wimbledon and the U.S. Open. And at 31 years old, became the oldest year-end number one in the ATP rankings at 31. Tennis is such a young man's sport, and that's why it's been so fun to see Federer and Nadal and now Djokovic, who's early 30s, which is ancient for tennis. I didn't realize that at 31 years of age, he was the oldest for the year-end ATP number one rankings. He's trying to become the second man in the Open era, aged 30 or older, to win 3 consecutive majors. He would join Rod Laver. And I don't think we give him enough credit. Djokovic, that is. Mm-hmm. And I know why. There is that, Roger Federer guy sitting there, and he's trying to win his 3rd straight Australian Open, to say the least. And it's a pretty incredible late in life, tennis life run. In a way that really it's resembling Jimmy Connors was maybe the last to have a run at that late age.
Well, I looked at the seeding, and it's Rafa 2 and Fed 3. So they would see each other potentially in the semis if it goes chalk. I have a feeling one of them won't be there. My guess would be Federer if it is one of them, but it's hard, especially at that age.
Nadal has 17 major championships. That's the second most in tennis history. He won the Australian Open in 2009. He is the only Spanish man or woman to ever win the Australian Open. Now, his next hardcourt title will be the 20th of his career. He owns the Open era with 57 tour titles on clay, which we know about. The only man in the Open era to win at least 20 tour titles on both hard court and clay. Can you name him? He's my era.
No, I cannot. I mean, Borg?
Good guess, but it was Yvonne Lindell.
Okay.
My nemesis.
Nah, man.
I'm a McEnroe fan.
I ain't about to go toe-to-toe with you on tennis history.
I do have some tennis history. We can talk about Johan Kriek and others and go on for days, and you'd go, I don't know who that is. But that was my era, man. That was a run for the ages.
No comprende. Now, when it's compelling, tennis is great, so I can understand why it's swept the world in terms of sports, but it's hard when you have the same guys. I mean, you have the farewell video that Federer and Nadal had for Andy Murray, and it's like, well, they were there before he started.
Poor Andy Murray, man. That guy came to be his prowess at the wrong damn time.
It's like being a wrestler and getting a farewell video from Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
Yeah. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
He had lived like Henry Seymour.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Matt at MadisonSocial.com.
Hey, sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite, Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
Start your new year with new gear from JCPenney. Race in for super deals like 50% off select Exertion activewear for the whole family. Plus, Thursday through Monday, take an extra 15% off with your coupon and any method of payment. And don't forget to shop Final Take clearance and save a whopping 50 to 70% off. Get active and start saving. JCPenney, style and value for all. Offers and coupon valid 1/17 through 1/21. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Hi, I'm President John Thrasher. I'm here with some of our outstanding marching chiefs. They've been invited to an incredible opportunity, and they need your help. Next June, the marching chiefs will travel to France and represent both the state of Florida and the United States at the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion on the beaches of Normandy. As both an Army veteran and the president of the university dedicated to student veteran success, I know what a meaningful opportunity this is for these talented musicians. But experiences like this can be out of reach for many students. So today, I'm asking for your support so we can send as many of our marching chiefs as possible to this monumental event. Visit give.fsu.edu/Normandy. Thank you, and go Noles!
Napa know-how.
Right now, you can get a $20 prepaid Visa gift card by mail with the purchase of a Napa Legend Premium battery. Its durability and power make it the obvious choice for people who hate getting stranded by a dead car battery. So pretty much everyone. The Napa Legend Premium battery and $20 back. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Limit 2 per household while supplies last. Offer ends 2/28/19.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from December. Canopy Gardens, Center for Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, Compass Community Pharmacy, Danton Consulting, Data Set Ready, Eck Realty, Fleming Consulting Services, Florida Pro Computing, Golden Corral, Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida, Kiever McKee Engineering, Nuvita Weight Loss, Park Avenue Inn, Parker Services, and Ricardo's.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104. Once again, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
Hey Tallahassee, this is Danny Eiler.
And Matthew Crumbaker.
Join us for the Saturday morning bottle share every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Yankees have reached a 3-year deal worth $27 million with reliever Adam Ottavino, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. The 33-year-old righty went 6-4 with a 2.43 ERA out of the Rockies bullpen last season. It's conference championship weekend coming up in the NFL. Saints take on the Rams on Sunday in New Orleans. Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
I've always had that appreciation. Listen, I had the chance to be a part of some great teams here and a lot of playoff games. But yeah, three NFC Championship games in 13 years. It's a hard game to get to. That's for sure. And so we won't take that for granted.
Saints are currently 3.5-point favorites over the Rams. Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette has officially filed a challenge with the NFL for Jacksonville's decision to void the guaranteed money in the final 2 years of his contract. Texas quarterback Shane Buechele has entered his name in the college football transfer portal. Sources told ESPN's Mark Schlabach that SMU is a potential landing spot for Buechele.
With the Vivid Seats app, it's easy to find awesome seats to any game. And all purchases are backed by their 100% guarantee. Go to the App Store or Google Play and download the app and enter promo code CHAMPS at checkout to get 10% off your first order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I hope you guys are well. A lot of people got their kids brought their report cards home. Hope you're all right. Hope you're all right out there, kiddies. Had to have a stern talking to.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. My first one. First one yet. Nothing bad. I mean, honor roll and all that, but one too many B's on one of those report
Merely
cards.
honor roll, not president's list or whatever.
No. I was like, hey, what are we doing over here? Getting lazy. But I'm not going to get into that. It's my kids. But I just, yeah.
So report cards are still a thing.
You can look in the parent portal, Tom.
Yeah.
I use the parent portal to check on the progress. So I actually feel for kids these days. There's no getting around nothing. When you were a kid, when I was a kid, not with you.
They introduced K-12 Planet just as I was getting out of high school.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? So you were the last?
Well, they hit me in middle school, and they had K-12 Planet. My parents are not tech savvy, thankfully. And then they did it again my junior year of high school. So, and again, they were not tech savvy, but if they were, they could have seen some things because I got so bored with one of my Spanish classes.
You stopped going or whatever.
Well, no, I couldn't in high school.
Yeah. I skipped some class now in high school.
Man,
we take it to Busch Gardens.
When you have that's awesome, but when you have 650 kids in the school, they're going to notice.
You're at a little tiny ass school. I was in a huge school.
I would manipulate my grade so I would get an 89.5 and be rounded up for the A because we had the 90 to 100 A. So I counted the points and I just tried to land right there, smack
So
dab.
you weren't exactly giving your best effort. You were doing what you needed to do.
I was trying just to mess with the system because I was being, 17 and dumb. But K-12 Planet existed.
I grew up in an era where you not only got report cards physically, tangible, handed to you, you had to have them signed and brought back the next day so that your parents got it. So I saw people work wonders in the arena of forging. I saw kids who became masters of signatures that their parents possessed. It was incredible. I saw the great lengths that people went to make it appear that their parents saw their report card. But I also, that's an era that if you had a bad 9 weeks or a bad 6 weeks and you struggled somehow for whatever reason, you loathed that day and that feeling in the pit of your stomach. It was like exam day. It was like the end of the semester or whatever. You just, oh, man, I'm really worried I'm bringing home a C in such and such or something, God forbid anything worse. And you could see it written all over the faces of the kids as you walk the hall. That doesn't exist anymore. I mean, parents certainly know what their kids, or they can know, and they should know. I mean, you can check if Clark or Bryce are doing poorly in something, and I'm very, very fortunate, knock on wood, they just don't do poorly. But, I can see it. I can walk in there on a random Tuesday and go, hey, man, what the hell's going on in science? This is looking like a C. What are we doing here? And so they know immediately, and so it's just kind of funny because they take the tact. Clark, this is Clark. He'll come home if he had a bad test. Now, again, he's an honor roll student. He's a great kid, great student. But he will occasionally, as every kid does, have a bad test.
So he comes home with a PR spin already built in?
Built in. He has thought about it all day. I'm not even going to ask him about it. I haven't looked at it. He's earned the trust, whatever it might be. All of a sudden, he'll walk in, hey, Daddy. Hey, Clark. So, Mrs. So-and-so? Yeah, your teacher. I do know her. Yeah, she's a nice lady. Well, I'm like, here we go. And it's great.
He's got like a 5-point plan.
Oh, he's got it all worked in. He's got the reason why. The whole to-do cracks me up. Ryan writes, at Jay Cameron Show, repeat question from a year ago. Does this team mentally have the what for, quote unquote, using my term there, to shake, say, a 10-0 Boise State lead? Your answer ahead of the Virginia Tech game was that Taggart would have them playing for each other. Guess what, Ryan? I was wrong. It's too early for me to answer that. I can't answer this question. I have no idea who the starters on the offensive line are going to be. I don't know who the starting quarterback is. I don't know what Kendall Briles' offense is going to look like. I mean, I know what it looked like elsewhere, but with our personnel, I don't. There's a lot of stuff I don't know until I see them practice. I can't tell you that. And by the way, to Tom's point, and one we've made up several times now, it really won't matter what they say. I was all in, ready to buy in. I do believe that Coach Taggart, wholeheartedly I believe this, because I've seen the man talk when cameras aren't around, when the press isn't getting a quote from him. I've had conversations with him off the record in which it's revealed. He cares very much that the team take ownership, that they do play for each other, and that they do get the most out of their talents, and that they succeed in the classroom, and that they go on to have great success. He cares about that. That is true. That's 100% genuine. So when he talked about that, playing for each other, he was hoping that that's what was being instilled, that was the atmosphere he was creating, that this would be a place, the Morris Center would be a place the kids wanted to hang out and be part of, as opposed to just coming for practice or film study, but rather this was a familial place, right? But I guess it didn't happen. That's what we learned about last year, is that maybe kids said the right things. Some of the veteran players whom he needed to buy in said that they believed, said they were going to do all these things, but then didn't quite clearly, especially when adversity hit.
Yeah, there's not enough videos you can put out, even with Kendall Briles and Clements.
It won't matter.
With the chase.
Doesn't matter.
And guys are in shorts and T-shirts.
Doesn't matter.
Talking about family and connectedness. It's the Tom Herman quote after the Sugar Bowl where he said, this is now a player-led program and not a coach-led program. That's where we're trying to get to.
Well, and he was trying to get there last year, and that really, if we're truly being honest here, was the beginning of the end. It didn't happen. He whiffed in that endeavor before the first kickoff, before anything ever happened. The decision to go with DeAndre. I mean, they got it wrong. I feel like they got it wrong. And also trusting certain other guys. We don't have to relive this again. A certain receiver and certain other people that they trusted were going to be all in. And then if the play wasn't coming their direction, they weren't all in. So you got sort of guys that you needed to help transition, say the right things, but didn't do the right things. And then you waited too long to pull the plug on that. Actually, you never did. Well, and that's the fear about this thing with DeAndre right now, is that you never pulled the plug last year. You never decided to go scorched earth. You never decided to move on from those veterans and just put the team in the hands of the youth, the guys that you brought in recently, the kids that are going to be a part of the change that you're seeking to create. Because you never did that, people looked at you and thought, okay, your first big decision, you failed. And now this kid's on Instagram telling everybody he's coming back. And we view him, many, not all, view him as really a symbol of the problems. Again, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen here, a lot of dominoes to fall. I don't think he'll be here in the fall. But the point is, when people read that and see that, they go, you still have not got the message?
This is where if Willie wanted to make drastic changes, he could still lay it at the feet of Kendall. I mean, part of the hire could be, hey, listen, you're going to come in here. I'm going to change the way that things go. Obviously, you have the keys to the offense. But I need you to play the bad cop as we try and change things. You know what I mean? Like, because if I'm telling the kids two different things drastically, or I'm trying to overhaul the way we do things year to year, I don't know that is as good for morale as if you come in guns a-blazing and saying, this is how the offense is going to be run now. I don't care what you did last year. Coach Taggart hired me to run the offense. This is my decision. Kendall gives you an out, more than just because you're trying to sell tickets. It gives you an out, I think, with the locker room because, yeah, this is his offense. So if you need to make some changes on how to shape up, it's not the same person delivering those messages. It's a new voice in the room.
Be on the heels of what we talked about yesterday, where I said, I know what I would do. I know what I want to have happen. I know what the fans are clamoring for. I know all that, but we got to wait until, to see what decision he makes on that. And it's a big one. I'm watching very carefully. I think everybody is. I'm not assuming because of what DeAndre said that there's a plan in place that he's going to get things the way that he wants them done. I'm meaning DeAndre. I'm going to wait and see what they do, see what the coaches do, see what Kendall does. See, once we get this thing cemented, meaning the staff, and then the class here, what happens?
I think that's where everybody's unified, whether or not you're on the positive or negative side and confidence level with this coaching staff and this regime. We're all the same, shoulder to shoulder, watching this thing very closely in the offseason.
Well, and I issued the 2 fingers to my eyes for that very reason. 2 fingers back to you. We're okay. I'm not going to get all in a tizzy over here and freak out every day. I'm just, okay. We're watching, buddy. We're all watching very carefully. I'm going to need you to get it together. Andro 400, natural testosterone booster. Tens of thousands of customers choose Andro 400 every month. Helps melt away stubborn belly fat, increases your energy, increases muscle mass and strength, improves your mood naturally and safely. Andro 400 is very affordable, costs much less than testosterone boosters that you find in the market. 90-day money-back guarantee to boot. Call 888-510-9336 or just go to andro400.com. Use the coupon code Jeff for a discount on your order.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
And the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, listen to Dave.
Andro 400, I really love it. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. It feels like I'm 25. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man.
Andro 400 Max, an extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go to andro400.com or call 888-510-9336. That's 888-510-9336.
Back again and bigger and better. An all-new monster truck lineup including Bigfoot. The Traxxas Monster Truck Tour brought to you by Safety Clean. Bigfoot and more, plus freestyle motocross side-by-sides and quad wars brought to you by Florida Motorsports. Advanced kids tickets from just $8 at TuckerCivicCenter.com. The box office, MonsterTruckTour.com, or charge at 850-583-4871. Subject to service fees. The Traxxas Monster Truck Tour. January 26th and 27th, Dell Tucker Civic Center.
Coming this April.
2-1 pitch. Fly ball, left field, playable. Ronald Acuna, fittingly. He's got it. The Atlanta Braves are National League East champions.
The NL East champs are back. Catch Atlanta Braves baseball all spring and summer long on Tallahassee Sports Monster 97.9 ESPN Radio.
What's good, Stephen A?
Tex Johnson in Texas. Tex, are you there?
Yeah, first of all, you got to take that damn cowboy hat off and stop talking about the damn Cowboys. You understand me, son?
Who are you?
Do you understand me, son?
Who is this?
Don't need to do nothing.
Who is
the coach will not be fired. Cowboys Nation forever. Now, you went on your little laugh rant last night laughing at the Cowboys. You better stop, son. I'm telling you right now.
What's your problem? This is my show. I do what the hell I want on my show. They think Garrett deserves to go, and that's that.
Listen, I know you got a big old fancy house up there in New York, New Jersey. I got some horses that can come do some business on your lawn.
Whoa. Who is this?
My name is Tex Johnson, sir.
Hell no! This is you, isn't it, Shaq? This is Shaq. Shaq, that's you, ain't it?
This ain't Shaq.
Yes, it is. Oh, hell no. I can't believe you.
Catch Stephen A. weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
You saw the Manny Machado offer from the White Sox that his side is funny. We enter a different era now. The media, which is nonstop, and I heard an interesting point last night on this, is often used, right, by different agents and teams in order to kind of actually shift the market. And so you have a Bryce Harper and you have a Manny Machado out there, and they're not signed, and we're 34 days away. I mean, baseball is going to start. What's going on here, right? The people looking at that market going, what in the world is happening here?
Well, the market is not as lucrative as the agents thought it would be. That's clear, right?
Well, the other problem is that they both need to be signed, so one's waiting on the other.
That's true.
And they don't want to blink. So this offer that the White Sox made, 7 years, $100 and whatever million, what was it, $175 million, something like that. So the reason that comes up is they immediately, meaning the White Sox and others, said, no, that's just not true. That offer doesn't exist.
His representation came out and
furious.
Furious is right,
because they think they're setting the market too low, and they're saying now you've altered what he might be offered, and so anyhow, what made me I was just blown away by. They both want 10-year deals. There's probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 people in baseball, Mike Trout being one of them, that you would even consider doing that with? A 10-year deal? Mike Trout would probably be the only one, right?
Didn't the Nationals offer him 10 at $300?
Originally.
Yeah.
And he turned it down.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, that is, yes. Is there anybody besides Mike Trout that you'd give a 10-year deal to?
Trout only because I'm assuming I'm going to get 6 or 7 years out of it. I don't even think I'm going to get 10 out of Trout's deal. No pitcher, certainly not.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, I'm trying to think of.
I think Matthew would give it to Arenado, but that's just because he's a fanboy.
Well, Nolan, in fairness, is one of the 3 or 4 best players in baseball. I mean, you can.
Yeah, but 10 years. I mean,
I know. That's what I'm saying. 10-year deals. 10-year deals. I mean, good luck, right?
He says maybe Mookie Betts.
Fair enough. Outside of Mike Trout, probably him and Nolan Arenado are the next 2 and 3 best players in the game. So they're trying to get 10-year deals, and it just doesn't appear that that's going to happen. But so what you'll get instead is maybe more dollars per year in a shortened deal. Like you could see somebody go for 5 years at $25 million per or $35 million per or something like that.
Well, there could be something, too, where you get an opt-out after 3. I mean, the problem for these 2 guys, especially Harper, he had a bad year when it was your contract year. If he hit 330 and hit 37 home runs this year, I think he'd already be signed at the number he wanted. But this year was terrible coming into the negotiations.
Yeah, pull up the numbers again, though, because I don't think it ended as terribly as we thought it would halfway through the season. And knowing what's no longer important, right? You know, people aren't worried as much about batting average and strikeouts and all that stuff. They're looking at the power numbers and the runs driven in and, you know.
I mean, he hit 245. His ops was 889, which was 120 points lower. than the year previous.
Certainly not the greatest.
He slugged
way
100 points lower. His on-base percentage was down 20 points. He walked a lot, but that, he didn't do it in the no, I mean, if you're just looking at the slash line, all of it's down across the board. Home runs are up, but the slash line's down.
I was looking at these massive deals, and the first one that always comes up when we have the long-term conversations about, or the big conversations about who's worth 10-year deals, 8-year deals, and $25 million per season and all that. Of course, A-Rod is the one that comes up every time. That's an insane deal. You know the one I forget about? The one I always forget about is the ridiculous deal that Prince Fielder got. Go look at the top, 10 or 12 deals in Major League Baseball history in the modern era, and that one is real high on the list, and you go, Prince Fielder demanded that?
Well, here, if you look at Harper, okay, so let's just look at ops, right? Because that's a key number that, more than batting average, certainly these
OPS
days.
plus as well and all that.
OPS plus. Well, let's just look at ops. His last 5 seasons. We'll go from most recent to 5 years ago because obviously recency. 889, 1008, big year. 814, 1109. So are you going to pay that much money for an on and off guy? Because that's what he's proven to be. And the year prior, the 5th one is 768.
And he's 20 what?
He'll be going on 26 this season.
Probably. I mean, he hasn't even entered into his prime.
Well, I should note, too, that he had 34 home runs last year, which was up. RBIs were up. But he only played in 111 games the year prior, and he had 29 and 87. I mean, he was going to go crazy.
Yeah, man, I think if you have a healthy Bryce Harper for the next 7 years, you're going to produce a lot. I mean, offensively, you're going to see. I mean, he's an elite player. He's 26. It's just that he's been around so long that we.
Well, but before the season started, because of the year he was coming off of, shortened as it was in 2017, you thought he was going to be a 40 or 45. Some people said, well, maybe the Yankees will even throw 50 at him, for a short period of time, if they're just trying to get him on the books for the next 3 or 4 years. But that's not happened at all.
So that 7-year, $175 million offer is the one that people think is. Well, that his people are saying is bogus. That was the so-called mystery team that was also involved in the negotiations, right? We go back to the great deals of all time. The most expensive and lucrative for the player. Obviously, remember we had this conversation, you and I did, about Albert Pujols with the $240 million deal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Matthew Leach on, too, in those days before it was over.
And I think, by the way, it was fascinating because we ended up being, I think, wrong. We thought, pull up Pujols for a second, we thought for sure that basically, he was looking closer and closer to done. We didn't know what his real age is or was. He's supposedly 39 right now. I don't know. That could be 46.
So he was signing the deal in the 2011 offseason for the 2012 MLB regular season.
And we thought maybe 4 years, you'd get 4 years out of him of productive play. And you know what? They got more than that. They did, and it ended up being, it was good. He was never going to be productive for 10 years, and they knew that too.
No, but I mean, if you just go by, again, ops, I know I'm only looking at one thing, but it's the best indicator instead of getting lost in 5 metrics.
I agree.
Okay, so the 4 seasons prior to that deal.
Well, remember, he was at the end of his time in 2011 in St. Louis, and he was a beast. He was a 5+ WAR player still. He was a guy that in previous seasons had been somewhere in the neighborhood of 10, if you like that number. Yeah. Not everybody does like WAR, but anyhow, that's a point of how much better he was than the rest of the league. But you didn't figure that he would be a plus player for much more than a couple of years. That's why we were aghast at Anaheim doing that, and he still ended up being a plus player for like 5.
He was pretty good, but okay, again, the last, and he's only hitting a lot of the time.
He's not good now.
The last 5 years of his St. Louis career, 906, 10-11, 11-01, 11-14, 997. I mean, dominant, as everybody knows.
The beast.
Okay, so he gets to L.A. First year, 859. Second year, 767. 790, 787, 780. So you signed an above-average player who was going to hit some landmarks in his career that you could make money off of.
That you could make money off of, right. Yeah. But mixed in that run, as recently as 2015, was a 40 and 95 season, man. Now, grant you, he hit 244, but he hit 40 home runs with 95 RBIs in 2015.
Yeah, he made the most of the opportunities because he was on base. He had 307. I mean, Jesus, he was hitting home runs.
They were never going to get their money back, but think about the PR. And then he was still viable enough to have a 100 RBI season in 2017. Now, I know RBIs are what, it's a random
opportunity. There was a lot of opportunity for him.
Yeah, but I mean,
a
guy that you think is going to be shot in 2 years as recently as 2017 hit 23 with 101.
He wasn't shot. I think that hitting landmarks is what makes that deal okay because of the jersey sales, obviously, when you first sign him, and then obviously the things that you can do subsequent to put butts in the stands. And I think also the value of him mentoring Mike Trout cannot go unvalued in this equation. Maybe that wasn't their intent in the beginning, but that's what happened. And so that's worth its weight in gold that you can have one of the greatest hitters of all time teach one of the greatest hitters of all time.
Yeah, I'll say this. I originally brought all of this up not because, it's fun to debate 10-year contracts. Who deserves them? Does anybody ever deserve them? Are you going to see the value in a 10-year deal? Which players belong in the conversation potentially of warranting a 10-year contract? Very few, 3 or 4, maybe. And we just named them. Trout. You start with Trout, and then you can bicker about everybody else. Trout, you would do. How unhealthy, quote unquote, is baseball if there are teams willing to pay players $30 to $35 million a year? A year. Bryce Harper could get $30 to $35 million a season. You can't tell me that all these teams, we hear about baseball's waning support and fan appreciation and participation and season ticket sales and everything. Why are the White Sox offering up almost $200 million? They can't be hurting that bad.
I agree with that. I think there's a couple of things. Obviously, it would be the bubble of the regional sports network, and we'll see if you look and see what's going on between Fox and Disney, and they're trying to sell stuff back, and there's a bidding war, quote unquote, for the regional sports networks that it's not really there. You got to look at the TV bubble, and then also there's 162 of these things. So if you're talking about per game, your check, it is a little bit lower. But since you're playing an absurd amount of games and you're doing so...
Well, however you want to break up $35 million a year for one player.
Sure. All I'm saying is weigh it against 16 games in the NFL if you're talking about game checks.
I know that. I'm thinking the relative financial health of an organization, many organizations, because he's linked to Machado and Harper and a few others, including Trout, who eventually a lot of people believe the Phillies are going to push for.
They're pushing for everybody, apparently. They're in on Machado and Harper. And
devastated is Matthew, I'm sure.
That's what Matthew was saying. He's like, the lineup, actually, oddly enough, before the show, he's like, well, we're going to have Trout and then Harper. And Machado's going to be in there.
Not going to have Machado, but the Harper and Trout could happen.
They can go to hell. They'll shoot up the ranks to most hated team in the division real fast.
Yes, they would. Not Harper, but Trout can't happen for another 2 years. But the problem is it probably would happen a lot sooner because if you're not going to re-sign him in Anaheim, you got to do something now.
You got to get the farm. It's just they need to sign over their AAA.
I'm telling you right now, I'd be shopping his ass right now. I would figure out something now. You got to get something for him. You're not going to re-sign him. So, yes, I'd want every one of your good pitchers.
Call the Steinbrenners. They always want to make a splash.
I have a feeling the Pirates are ready to make the move.
If the Mets could just somehow find some...
The Mets have made some good moves.
They've made some good moves. Now, your
last lineup is actually vastly improved.
We need a dossier on the ownership group, all right? And then we can make one more splash, which is to welcome Mike Trout to town with a new owner, Mark Cuban.
Yeah. Oh. God, I'm getting in the baseball mindset. And we have the Atlanta Braves here for you, folks. It's a good thing, right?
Well, in hearing the promo, I missed the pregame show because the pregame show is just a baseball show. They talk Braves, and it's centered around Braves, but they'll go up and down each division.
Well, Bryce Harper has been talked about with the Braves as well, and having said that, Buster Olney pinned something today, and he said this about a lot. He went through each team that he's been linked to in some way, even, tangentially. So here you go. They have a need to fill in the outfield, and their parent company, Liberty Media, could afford that kind of contract. But Liberty has generally operated with very light, limited budgets, And it's hard to imagine Atlanta taking a player who would absorb 25% of their payroll. But that's
boy. So you could have Harper and McCann on the same team. All right, no hotheads here.
I don't think McCann is.
Oh, McCann he's the one forever. He's policing about how you trot around the bases.
But he's not a hothead. I think he just doesn't like when kids flip the bats. He likes to tell other kids not to flip the bats. That's his big thing. But I don't think he's a hothead. Like, he's not starting.
Oh, he's that guy. You got to do it the right way guy.
Oh, no. He's
right,
old school, right way guy. Hey, we're both a little that way. I don't need you spending a half an hour spinning a do and then taking all year to round the bases.
This is true, but
on a Tuesday night in the regular season.
Yeah, but he can be as sensitive as Joe West when you question his balls and strikes.
I don't disagree with that. I don't have a problem with him saying to somebody as they cross home plate, okay, all right, good luck. This next one's in your ear hole. I mean, you've earned it, pal. I mean, we both agree with that. There's nothing worse than random Wednesday night guy. Woo! Spending half an hour going around the base.
Jordany Valdespin.
Here we go, buddy. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
It's at 8 a.m., and the 10K and 5K begin at 8:30 a.m. You can register online, thetrent2019.eventbrite.com. That's thetrent2019.eventbrite.com. Support this race and help a local child leave cancer in the dust.
Time now for your Tampa Bay Lightning Minute, brought to you by Township of Tallahassee.
Tonight in Tampa Bay, the first-place Lightning hosts second-place Toronto for their second meeting of the 2018-2019 campaign. Tampa holds a commanding 16-point lead over Toronto in the standings, and things are tightening up in the Atlantic Division in positions 2 through 4. This is the Lightning's second-to-last game before a prolonged week-and-a-half off in which the NHL All-Star break combines with their bye week. The Bolts took the first game of the season series with Toronto 4-1 back on December 13th. A night where the team's top netminder returned to the lineup with fury. Andrei Vasilevsky stopped 48 of 49 shots, a franchise record, to mask the type of defensive breakdowns the Lightning are still trying to tighten up this month. Tampa Bay is coming off a 3-game road trip in which it went 2-1, and after tonight's tilt with the Maple Leafs, the Lightning host the red-hot San Jose Sharks on Saturday night. With your Lightning Report, I'm Tom Lang.
At Township and College Town, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins and a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. Oh, and let's not forget the 32 taps and private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
The kitchen calendar may say 2019, but if your kitchen's more like 1992, come into the Home Depot for up to 30% off appliance special buys, like a 4-piece stainless steel Samsung kitchen suite, now just $2,978. More than $2,000 off a Samsung fridge, gas range, microwave, and dishwasher. Better mark it on your new calendar. Up to 30% off select appliances, now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Electric range available at extra cost. Valid through January 23rd.
Napa know-how. Right now, you can get a $20 prepaid Visa gift card by mail with the purchase of a Napa Legend Premium battery. Its durability and power make it the obvious choice for people who hate getting stranded by a dead car battery. So pretty much everyone. The Napa Legend Premium battery and $20 back. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care centers. Limit 2 per household while supplies last. Offer ends 2/28/19.
This is Chris Kraft with news that is sure to change the car buying landscape in North Florida. My brother Peter and I are now the proud new owners of the Infinity dealership in Tallahassee, the all-new Kraft Infinity. As Mercedes-Benz dealers for over 25 years early in our careers, we know how to sell and service Highline vehicles the right way. At Kraft Infinity, our mission statement is simple: to provide our customers with a car buying experience that is unsurpassed in value, consideration for your time, and pure enjoyment. Finally, the Highline experience you deserve, and it's from the Kraft brothers. Infinity is much more than a brand name. It's a lifestyle and it's a statement. And at Kraft Infinity, Peter and I will go beyond your expectations in providing the best sales and service experience in Tallahassee. So come see us at the all-new Kraft Infinity, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft brothers. Kraft Infinity, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, conveniently located between Home Depot and the I-10 flyover. Call 297-1488 or visit us on the web at craftinfinity.com.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Who looks most like an old woman? Steven Tyler, Axl Rose, John Bon Jovi.
How about Larry Bird?
All right, put him on there too.
And Ned Yost.
I thought that Larry Bird looked like an old Ukrainian woman without her headscarf.
They can't be Ukrainian?
Yeah, well, I was thinking American woman, but fair enough.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Yankees have reached a 3-year deal worth $27 million with reliever Adam Ottavino, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. The 33-year-old righty went 6-4 with a 2.43 ERA out of the Rockies bullpen last season. It's conference championship weekend coming up in the NFL. Saints take on the Rams on Sunday in New Orleans. Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
I've always had that appreciation. Listen, I had the chance to be a part of some great teams here and a lot of playoff games. But yeah, three NFC Championship games in 13 years. It's a hard game to get to. That's for sure. And so we won't take that for granted.
Saints are currently 3.5-point favorites over the Rams. Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette has officially filed a challenge with the NFL for Jacksonville's decision to void the guaranteed money in the final 2 years of his contract. Texas quarterback Shane Buechele has entered his name in the college football transfer portal. Sources told ESPN's Mark Schlabach that SMU is a potential landing spot for Buechele.
With the Vivid Seats app, it's easy to find awesome seats to any game. And all purchases are backed by their 100% guarantee. Go to the App Store or Google Play and download the app and enter promo code CHAMPS at checkout to get 10% off your first order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Still don't know who I'm picking this weekend. That's a good sign. I don't have a feeling one way or the other.
So kickoff temperature is projected to be 7 degrees in Kansas City.
Whew. Just glad I'm not going to that one. Obviously, with the Rams and the Chiefs winning their games, the Super Bowl is featuring the two highest, with victories by the Rams and the Chiefs coming this Sunday if it happens. The Super Bowl would feature the two highest-scoring teams from the regular season for just the 5th time since 1970, and the first time since 1997, if it happens. Two highest-scoring teams in the regular season facing each other in the Super Bowl. We've gone over some of these numbers before, but now that we've edged ever closer to it, 1997, the Denver Broncos had the number 1 offense. The Green Bay Packers had the number 2 offense. And obviously we saw how that played out. And 1996, yes?
Steve Atwater was a player. That's all I'm shaking my head at.
Mm-hmm.
That dude could play.
In 1996, just the year before, obviously, the Green Bay Packers had the number 1 offense, and they took on the New England Patriots and won that game. That's the Bill Parcells-led New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy to think about.
Yeah, Desmond Howard, MVP.
Did the Heisman pose again. Yep. That was a time in an era in which kickoff returns mattered. They don't exist anymore. 1991, the Washington Redskins and Buffalo Bills, number 1 offense against the number 2 offense. And in 1984, which this always strikes me as interesting whenever we go back this far, you weren't born, and I remember this like it was yesterday, giving a perfect example of the striking difference that our age range makes. I was watching this game, and I can still remember my father's heartbreak, as he loves the Dolphins.
You were smoking cigarettes?
No, I was 13 years old, but I
worrying
remember
about
it
your IRA
really well. Dolphins had the number 1 offense, and the 49ers had the number 2 offense, and that's the way that looked.
That's the one they fictionalized with Ray Finkel for Ace Ventura.
That's right. The New England Patriots have reached the Super Bowl in each of the past 2 seasons. With a win against Kansas City on Sunday, the Patriots would join the Buffalo Bills, 90, 91, 92, 93. And Miami Dolphins, year I was born, when they lose to the Dallas Cowboys, but they go to the Super Bowl 71, 72, 73. As the only teams in Super Bowl era to appear in 3 consecutive Super Bowls, that's impressive. Of course, the Bills went to 4 consecutive Super Bowls and didn't win any of them. Teams to appear in the last 3 consecutive Super Bowls in the Super Bowl era, like I said, Bills 90 to 93. Tough break. Got to win that first one. If old Scott Norwood makes that kick, we don't have this larger discussion, but he doesn't make that kick down in Tampa. And Bill Parcells, the aforementioned Bill Parcells and the New York Giants win the Super Bowl. And from there, the Buffalo Bills, frankly, never had a chance. Twice had to play the Cowboys. That was a rigged game. Dallas is that stretch of that stretch of dominance from the Cowboys was not likely to be matched. I know what New England's done, but those teams there had Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, greatest offensive line of all time. On the defensive side of the ball, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. Yeah, good luck.
That game against the Giants, I believe that was in Tampa, right? That Super Bowl?
Yeah, Buffalo one.
Yeah, that's the one where I feel like...
That's the Whitney Houston sings the national anthem one.
I think so, yeah.
No, it is, yes.
So, well, yeah, I'm sorry. Forgive me. You were an adult. You were an adult as you took it in.
Yes.
I feel like even though it was before sports radio or Twitter or social media, that one still was you circled the kicker like social media would. I mean, he felt the relentlessness, kind of like in '86 with Buckner and then the poor pitcher for the Angels who killed himself. Like there are these moments. Remember that the Red Sox coming back in the LCS? There are those moments where it didn't matter that social media didn't exist. It didn't matter that sports talk radio really wasn't
a thing
what
really
what
yet.
It is now.
Mm-hmm.
That transcended all conversations, all dinner tables.
You know, that 30 for 30 was a good one, too. The thing on Norwood and the Bills and all of that. Norwood, I don't think he's gotten over it. It doesn't appear. There's sometimes when you're watching a game, I think the hardest thing as a fan when you watch games is when you really recognize a moment that happens to an individual in a game and go, oh, no. There's no coming back from that. That is you at the end of the bar stool, at the end of the bar at a bar stool like 15 years from now.
Not looking anything like that guy on the TV and saying, that's me. And they go, no, it's not.
And then you just look straight ahead and order another drink. That's him. And then the bartender goes, it's him. He's been here every day for 15 years.
He doesn't mind if he has to see his license.
Yeah. You know. And he doesn't care if you talk about it. In fact, I think he still needs to. I hate it. I see it. You don't see it that often. In the moment, sometimes we get caught up and we're like, oh, he's going to never forget. Nah, most of these guys are able to just move it on. There aren't too many times. But, yes, you just brought up, guys that were suicidal. And Jackie Smith, the tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, hit him dead in the chest. Roger Staubach in the Super Bowl, right there, drops it, and had a very tough life afterwards.
He's okay most of the year, but every January it seems like it's very tough for him to get through it.
I think when you become a parent and you become a little bit more vulnerable and older and more emotional, you see things even to players you don't like. And the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. It's a playoff game, not the Super Bowl. But seeing Alshon Jeffrey drop the ball dead in his hands and then his reaction to it, I felt terrible for him. I did, and I don't care about the Eagles. Well, but I was sitting there looking at that going, oh, that poor bastard, he's devastated.
Yeah, but do you care about kickers if it happens to a kicker?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I felt bad for the Bears kicker. I felt bad for him.
Okay, you admonish kickers, especially like in headlines when you guys get in discussions about kickers.
Because I don't rank them in terms of importance on the team in the same place as others. I mean, we've had lists where we've had kickers ranked in the top 5 on my football team. He's a kicker. He's not a top 5. No. So I'll argue with you there. My brother was a kicker, had college scholarship offers all over the place, but he wanted to be a marine biologist, so he went and played college soccer at JU. But he was a kicker. I watched him go through all that. Kicked in the state playoffs and everything else.
Some football players don't look at kickers as human
football
beings.
Players.
No, I mean, like, they're less than human. You hear the way they're talking about
I don't
kickers.
talk about them that way. They're human and they're necessary, and some of them, when they're really good, I still have fondness in my heart for my friend Jason White. But here we go. I'll be that guy. My senior year at Lakewood, he kicked the game-winning field goal against Northeast. As time expired, basically, and I saw his dad underneath the goalpost with his hands up, and I still remember being so happy for him.
His dad was under the goalpost.
I was blocking. I remember, I was waiting to hear
How about that for pressure? Dad, go stand on the sideline, dude.
I thought the same thing. But
son, I want to catch my hopes and dreams for you.
I'll never forget it. He's
As you
standing
kick
there
them.
with his hands open like that when it went through.
I'll only catch him if you kick him through the goalpost, though. If not, you're no son of mine.
I was blocking somebody, and on the far right side, I can still remember concentrating that he not get past me, but he actually he kind of embraced the block because he just wanted to see what was going to happen, and we embraced the block. I realized he wasn't really coming, he wasn't really coming to block it. So I'm just listening because when you're blocking for a kicker, if it's got a chance when it leaves the foot, whether it has the distance or not by the sound. So I'm listening for that sound. And I hear it thumped pretty well. And I'm like, that's good. First of all, when a kick is blocked, it goes th-th-th. It's quick, right? So you hear the thump, and then you hear the sound of the ball being blocked. Yeah. So it's almost super slow motion. You're listening for the sound of the thump and then making sure not to hear any other thump. And if you don't, and you feel like, I've heard that sound in practice, that's the sound of a well-struck football, then you just look up and try to locate the ball. And I remember hearing the good sound, being relieved, and me and the guy I was blocking just kind of holding each other and looking up, not holding each other as in hug me, but kind of just embraced in a block, both looking up to see if that was going to go through. And it barely got over the crossbar. It did go through, and I remember it to this day. It was only 43 yards.
That's what I was about to ask. Well, 43 in high school. Especially in those days.
He got underneath it a little bit. And then
kickers weren't kicking him 55 every week like they are nowadays.
He could thump it, though. He had a big leg. But, so he got a little underneath it, and I remember looking up and then seeing it was down the middle. It goes through, and his dad, that made me laugh, literally laugh on the field. I was all at once celebrating the kick, but also looking at his dad go, yeah, with his arms up in the air. I was happy for him. His dad, that is. I was happy for him. It was funny.
Yeah, could you
a lot
imagine
of pressure.
line that up and you see your dad under the goalpost?
Yeah, I don't think he saw him. I never asked him. I don't know.
There's no way he could have behind the line and stuff. You're not looking for people.
I don't think he saw him. But I don't.
You can hear son. He's got a sign with a target on it.
Yeah,
Come on, son.
No. I never thought about it. You just bring it up, disappointment and heartbreak and all that, but also glory and kickers and So for me, ripping them in terms of ranks and dehumanizing them, I don't do that. I just don't put them way up there as actual football players per se. And then secondly, I would say this. I do feel for them. I've said time and again, that's not a fun job. I mean, the whole world's looking at you. This whole thing comes down to you. And these bastards have been out here killing each other all game, and you're well aware of it. You understand the blood, sweat, and tears that has gone into this moment, and now you come trotting out there. And it's all on you. I don't envy that.
Yeah, medieval battle, and then it comes down to shooting arrows at a target.
Yeah.
Well,
it's brutal.
And it's like there's body parts all over the field.
And I don't even pretend to say that.
And I hit the bullseye.
Just like I openly say on this show all the time that I could never be a cop for a lot of reasons, but most of them are negative against me. I know my personality. I know my lack of patience. I understand what's required in a job like that, and I don't have it. So I'm just going to tell you, I know that about myself. I would, probably shoot somebody, not because I'm biased against anybody, but because I'm going home. And if you give me any reason to think that you're threatening the ability to go home, we've got to have a problem. And so I would get in trouble. And I know that, and that's why I never wanted to be a cop. I think it's a really difficult job to do well. I would never be a kicker. I would never be a kicker. Are you kidding me? I don't want to be the guy that rolls out there and has to kick a 48-yarder in inclement weather down by 2 with all of these guys who work so hard every day and practice in the gym year-round, all of it, actually physically getting the hell beat out of them while I sit over on that other side field, whoopity-doo, having a good day in the sun, making good money to do nothing, virtually nothing. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I would feel awful.
Well, first of all, what do you think the sound was when Vinatieri lined up the 25-yarder? And if you're a blocker for him just before halftime this weekend, what do you think that sound was?
Not like good. Probably not a good sound.
Like a car being stuck in the mud?
That sounds like, I don't think he hit that one real well. Well, and Vinatieri's been so good for so long. He probably hits the equivalent of the sweet spot on a golf club, for example.
Right.
All the time.
Right. But I think like the divot went farther than the ball.
What happened there? It was crazy. Yeah. And then he had the white beard. You're like, oh.
Back-to-back weeks in the 2010 season, I was working the beat, so I got to see the last part of it. Walk up the stairs, actually. Dustin Hopkins missed the 38-yarder against
North Carolina. Yes, he did.
I know. You can't bring it up without a tinge of something. And then he makes the Clemson kick. But I remember when he missed that one, I'd gone down to the field for the final 6 minutes, as he did. And Greg Reed made the return, and it's 38. And I'm standing by the big garage door with the helmet on it before they painted it garnet. It was white with the gold helmet.
That's right.
So I'm standing right there. It's the left-hand goalpost as I'm looking at it. It's wide right as he's looking at it, and that's where he missed, was to the right.
Yes, he did.
First of all, he got nothing on the kick. There was nothing on that thing. It would have been good from 38, but it was, for his standard, terrible. And
he's still kicking in the league, kicking ass.
Right. So after the game, he was walking up the steps, still in his uniform. About 15, 20 minutes had gone by, so he had just gone to his locker and sat there, I guess. And that would be my guess. He is trying to hold back tears. He is devastated. And it was just, I was the only one walking down the street. Well, Corey Dowler was too. So there was the two of us, and you watched every step he took, and I was like, oh, this poor guy. I mean, just the media availability, having to answer for something like that. That's terrible.
I admire them, and I think certainly maybe it's helpful. I don't know. I've not been in that position, but it's probably helpful to be able to get it off your chest a little bit. I mean, it's not an easy thing. I mean, it cracked me up, this thing that just happened in Chicago where they had all these fans come out and try to kick that field goal, and none of them made it. It's not easy. I used to go hold for my brother. He's 4 years old. The brother that kicked is 4 years older than me. And I would go to Lakewood High School with him, and he would practice all the time. He was a tireless worker, and he was really good at it. He was a very good player, a kicker. Anyhow, I would sit and hold the ball for him all the time. And I was always afraid he was going to kick my finger just because he could, and but he didn't.
Charlie Brown.
Right. I thought he was going to kick my finger, but he'd say, hold the ball. And back then, you put it on a block. You put the ball on a block. And I'd watch him kick, and there's a sound when you're doing it right, and instantly. But he put hours and hours and hours in, and at one point, they went into the state playoffs, and his coach, who went on to become later on was my coach, Bob Stevens, got furious with an official over something. I was young, I don't really know what it was about, but he lost his mind and got 2 15-yard penalties. He's about to get kicked out. So what was a chip shot 20-yard field goal?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Turns into this monster 50-yarder or whatever it was, and he had to make it. Like
how do you take those 2 penalties? Like if the kid misses it, it's not his fault.
I agree. I still remember it. He made it.
Because there was no pressure. It wasn't his fault.
Maybe I never asked him, but
if it was 50 to begin with.
He listens to the show sometimes. I'll ask him. I don't know if he felt pressure or not. But he made it. I just remember being happy for him and happy that they won, but I remember thinking, too, what the hell is he doing, Bob Stevens? He's going to lose the game.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
This $5,600 on in-stock vehicles. The all-new 2019 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend Truck of the Year, and it's breaking all kinds of records. We have over 80 Ram 1500s in stock with up to $11,000 off MSRP. You can't go wrong. Motor Trend Truck of the Year and up to $11,000 off MSRP. It's the deal of the year. There's only one place to go. Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat on the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Or visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Dealer retains all rebates and incentives plus tax, tag, and dealer fee.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
In 1945, Jack Whitten started a glass company in Tallahassee. Now, over 70 years and 3 generations later, it's still working every day, doing just as Jack wanted, giving his customers real solutions for replacing window glass, providing custom-cut mirrors, and supplying superior bath and shower enclosures. Local building contractors know Whitten Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. They prefer Whitten because of their precision and mastery of eye-catching storefront glass and countertop glass. It's a fact. When you choose Whitten Glass, you're working with real glass people who will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. It's what Jack Whitten wanted, and it's been the Whitten way of doing business for over 70 years. Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. Call Whitten Glass today or visit them online, 850-222-5781 or whittenglass.com.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Yankees have reached a 3-year deal worth $27 million with reliever Adam Ottavino, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. The 33-year-old righty went 6-4 with a 2.43 ERA out of the Rockies bullpen last season. It's conference championship weekend coming up in the NFL. Saints take on the Rams on Sunday in New Orleans. Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
I've always had that appreciation. Listen, I've had the chance to be a part of some great teams here and a lot of playoff games. But yeah, what three NFC Championship games in 13 years. It's a hard game to get to. That's for sure. And so we won't take that for granted.
Saints are currently 3.5-point favorites over the Rams. Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette has officially filed a challenge with the NFL for Jacksonville's decision to void the guaranteed money in the final 2 years of his contract. Texas quarterback Shane Buechele has entered his name in the college football transfer portal. Sources told ESPN's Mark Schlabach that SMU is a potential landing spot for Buechele.
With the Vivid Seats app, it's easy to find awesome seats to any game. And all purchases are backed by their 100% guarantee. Go to the App Store or Google Play and download the app and enter promo code CHAMPS at checkout to get 10% off your first order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you miss something. When that happens, that sucks. And you think, how can I catch up? Well, thank goodness Tom and Jeff have come through for me for years by posting all 3 hours of that program, along with Matthew, to iTunes and the Audio Vault on the webpage, as well as the WTSM app. There you go. Go get it. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you're well. Email the show if you like, JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. And, yeah, we're caught up. It's a weird momentary lull on a Thursday where you have usually, obviously, an awful lot of buzz, but because Florida State's not playing basketball until Sunday and because these football games aren't being played till Sunday and college football is over, you're just kind of, what do we do? Take a deep breath. You relax, kind of buckle up, and get excited about Sunday. Obviously, it's a great holiday on Monday with Martin Luther King Day, and then we'll have something for you on Tuesday because here's the deal: Florida State will have played, and there'll be a game that night.
Yeah, that's big time.
It's a big day.
It's a big turnaround, but then you get a lot of rest. So that's the thing is if you can win this game on Sunday, and you can do so without needing 30 to 35 minutes from all of your guys, that bodes well, given how hobbled we seem to be, because then you play the following weekend and you have a bye week before you play another basketball game. So for the beleaguered in our bunch,
get to 3-3 in the ACC and win the next two games, and everybody will exhale and be all right. By the way, the final two ACC games within the midweek conference schedule were played last night. If you guys tuned in to Louisville beating Boston College 80-70. And the Wara kids scored 32 points. Clemson won their first ACC game of the year, beat Georgia Tech 72-60 at the Little John, and Marquise Reed dropped 30 points there. And that means BC is winless, Tom. That's why I bring it up. They haven't won an ACC game yet. They've had 5 straight losses. And even before that, they lost to Hartford before they got into conference play. So I think a lot of us would look at that game against BC and say it's not a must-win, obviously. Your season's in disarray if you lose it, but it's one you should win without question. That said, it is fair to note that BC, while hosting us at Chestnut Hill there this upcoming Sunday at noon, their 4 ACC games, 3 of them have been on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They played at Louisville, at Notre Dame, and at Virginia Tech. And the home game they played was against the best team in the league, record-wise, Virginia. 83-56 in the Conti Forum. They got blown out. But Virginia has done that to us and others. In fact, Virginia's won 3 ACC games by at least 20 points. They had us beat by 27 before Tony Bennett, well-dressed as he is, decided to empty the bench. And so we made it to 13 points, but Virginia has manhandled everybody, so you can't look at that game either and say, well, BC's not any good. They'll play better because they will. And they've got a bunch of streaky shooters, and their guard play is good at times. And if you come out flat, which is known to happen up there for us, We don't play well up there. All of a sudden, you got yourself a very stressful situation on your hands. And I wonder if they would press with the thought of going to 1-4 in a game they know they're supposed to win. We reference maturity an awful lot these days about this team. A mature team goes up there, wins this game, and probably does so, I don't want to say handily, like 20, 30 points, but certainly I think you should come away from this game winning a game comfortably. You know, you win by 10 or something like that.
I think this is a team that's unsure of itself right now, and they might struggle on Sunday. I think we'll come away with a win, but you got to have it. And I'm looking at this
We're going to be nervous Sunday afternoon, Tom.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm looking at this season in a 4-game packet that's coming up. And you got to go 3-1 in this stretch. You might laugh at one of the opponents, but I'll tell you why not to. Be on BC. So you got BC, then Clemson on Tuesday, then you follow with Miami, and that's the following Sunday. That's on the road down there. Obviously, we already played them here and edged them. Then we play Georgia Tech on Saturday the 2nd here. You got to win that game. So to me, out of these 4 that are upcoming, you got to win at least 3 of them because Georgia Tech has been kind of a thorn in some team side right now in ACC play. It's been a laughing stock, even though we've had some bad performances against Georgia Tech recently. They might be able to do something about it even if we play well. They kept in touch, obviously, with Virginia Tech. They almost beat them on home court. They lost 52-49. That was a bit of a shocker midweek last week. They beat Syracuse. Now would turn around and beat Duke. And then they lost to Clemson last night, but they beat the hell out of Wake. So they're not exactly in the bottom barrel of the ACC. They're going to be one of those like Pittsburgh teams that are going to be competing for a bubble berth.
Yeah, kind of annoying, right, until it's beaten out of them. We'll see if they're a bubble berth team. They're 10-7. I mean,
yes, but 2-2 in the ACC. And what I'm saying is, I mean, some pretty good teams that have done some damage in this conference.
Yeah,
they've kept in touch with and or beat. So, and they play good defense.
You just don't have easy games in the conference. I mean, I think it's fair to say that. There's probably one game that I would look at. If Florida State were on the road against any team in the ACC, you'd be relatively nervous. The only team you would probably say, no, I'm not nervous about that, is Wake.
Even then, too. Yeah.
I mean, Wake's 8-8, 0-2 in the conference on the road, 1-1 at home. They're 1-3 in the ACC overall. If you struggle,
I just don't trust us on the road. That's the problem.
Well, we haven't been real good on the road the last 2 years. We've been, as bad as we've been on the road, we've been incredible at home, and that's really offset that. I mean, but yeah, you'd like to see more consistent play on the road, and we're in a place right now where you look at the net rankings. We did this yesterday. I said we were 22nd in the RPI. We're 33 in the net rankings. So all of that's nice. That bodes well. But you still got to go win games, and preferably in conference. I'd say 10 of them, right? You don't want to be on the bubble with a 9-9 season. At this point, we have a couple of nice wins. The win over LSU is proving to be a good one. They're 13-3. They have a net of 15. That turned out to be helpful. Purdue is 11-6 with a net of 17. And so that win turned out to be helpful. And we have a neutral court loss to Villanova, who has a net of 24, and they're the defending national champions, and they're 13-4. So that's why our ranking is where it is. Yesterday we were talking about why are we ranked this high? I mean, in some cases. That's why. We've got some quality wins. I know the fan base doesn't think so. I got an email yesterday like, why are you so high on this team? We haven't beaten anybody. Those are good wins. We're not – I'm not telling you we're elite. I think we're a fringe top 25 team. And if you go get some wins here, even it out, get to 3-3 and get your health about you, that's the biggest thing is – we haven't really, oddly, we have not seen this team entirely healthy for some time.
Yeah.
And that's a very different looking team.
But it might not change. That's the worry here.
Problematic, yeah.
And if you have a crisis of confidence at a couple of positions and you don't have health with some other of your rock-steady type players, Trent Forrest being the first one that comes to mind, okay, that's the recipe for not total disaster, but you might be flirting with the bubble. I still think you're above the bubble discussion right now, but don't lose this one on Sunday because now we're talking bubble.
Oh, you lose this one on Sunday, and I don't even know that you're talking bubble right now. You're saying, can we finish the season anywhere close to 500 in the ACC and give ourselves a chance to be on it, like fight to get on it? That's the conversation will shift if you lose Sunday and fall to 1-4 in the ACC. And you have a couple bad losses. At that point, you'd have a bad loss to Pitt and a bad loss to BC.
So you're saying this is a critical game?
Oh, yes. I think it is a critical game. I don't think it's the be-all, end-all. I'm not saying the season is over with if you lose it. I am saying if you lose it, that I'm staring at that red panic button. I'm looking at it. I have taken it out of its container. It is somewhere near my hand.
And it will be wired up in the executive suite Tuesday night as the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill ESPN Tallahassee suite takes in Florida State Clemson.
100% it would be. There's no question. At that point, man, I don't even like to think about it. You are really putting yourself in odd positions. When you play an 18-game schedule in the conference, if you threw 5 games and you're ready to hit the panic button, things have gone disastrously. I mean, we didn't think that was possible. And, the sad part of that is, and, no shame in losing on the road to UVA, and then you lose in heartbreaking fashion against Duke, who's the most talented team in the nation. If that 3 doesn't fall, you've got a very different attitude about what you've seen. But you do lose that game, and then you subsequently lose to them again when you go up to Pitt, if you will. And then all of a sudden, it's a combination of we're crestfallen, we're injury-riddled, and we don't have our we don't have our team.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is Leonard hasn't been, deaf to this the entirety of the season. He's known, and he said it in each one of his post-game press conferences is when we were winning, I'm glad we're fortunate to keep winning. So I'm glad that we do as we grow as a team.
Didn't you? We both did that. He's not telling us something. He wasn't in love with where they were at.
Correct. Yes, and he kept on saying we got to develop our secondary guys because we have to have that depth in order to succeed. Well, they're going to be dependent upon all the more now. If we're up against it and you have some hobbled players, hobbled stars, I mean, who's it going to be? Raekwon, is it you? Devin, is it you? David Nichols, are you going to snap out of it a little bit
I think David has got a chance to be real good by season's end, and I think Vassell is a kid they need to play more. I've been talking a lot about that. I like his size. I like his game. He needs to play more. So let's see if he rises up. I don't think it's going to be Raekwon Gray. We like Raekwon. We do. I just don't see it in ACC play right now with him. I don't think so.
I think he's obviously more talented than his body type would suggest,
sure,
right? Because he looks like a big hoss that's a 4, and then you feed the post, and he's going to back somebody down and try a hook. No, he's got jump shot in him, mid-range, long distance. But it's tough. Winning organizations, like you're wearing the Lightning stuff, I'm wearing the Lightning stuff. When you are winning a bunch of games, like you can ease those role players, those young players on in when they're rookies in the league or second-year guys, and they don't have to do but this little small amount. If you join the Cardinals for all those years, when the middle lineup was stacked, I need you to be a 7-hole hitter and give me 20 home runs. Now, you've hit 350 your whole life, but I don't need you to do that.
No.
I need you to do this small thing. The problem is if we have issues that persist, we're going to ask these kids to play 20, 25 minutes, and it's almost like a rebuild on the fly.
What's weird, too, is, I know that he'll have a decision to make after this Sunday in regards to those minutes in that rotation, because if we're still floundering about and these other guys are not trustworthy, he's going to have to go against what he wants to do, plain and simple, because you'll be in desperation mode, and now you'll just rely on every veteran that's been in every big game and was part of that run. Played 6-7 guys. They play all the minutes.
Yeah.
Now, they're infinitely talented, but, some coaches, really good ones.
Well, my worry would be is if you continue to play, go a little bit of a youth movement and say, all right, well, X player, I need you to sit down. The evidence is overwhelming.
I'm glad you're his advocate, because I am not at this point. He's pissed me off to the point where I feel like I'm done with him, and I know that's not the right take. It's not the right thing. I mean, he's got too much talent. We've gotten glimpses of it at time. He looks so lost right now. He's useless on the floor. He is useless, and I can't abide.
Yeah, the number one criticism I'd have right now of what we're doing is it's the other side of the coin of investing time in young kids and rotating a lot of players. I don't think everybody knows their role. I don't think everybody understands their role, and it's only further muddied by injuries to some of your key guys.
Well, and a crisis of confidence for certain guys. I mean, to me, there's no way. PJ Savoy knows his role. He just can't hit shots. That has to be a confidence thing, because we know he can hit shots. MJ Walker, he knows what he's supposed to be, I think.
I don't know. I mean, but put him on the court with Kofor and Mann and Forrest, and you're like, well,
you can be a secondary scorer in that situation, but you got to hit open shots. He can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
Like, if they kick out to you and you're wide open, your role in that place is to hit the damn shot.
Well, and in the defensive half court, I mean, you got two guys flocking to the same person all the time. You got breakdowns.
It's just weird and frustrating, and we better not. I don't like this conversation. I want to change this conversation. I don't like this. I'm starting to feel very, very nervous about Sunday, and I don't like that because I've been pretty solidly on board with what's going to happen in each of these games. I've known, hey, we said it. I mean, I mentioned we were going to get blown out by Virginia, got blown out by Virginia. Thought we'd have a fighting chance. Thought we'd beat Miami. We did. Thought we'd have a fighting chance against Duke, but we'll see. I did pick Duke. I was probably more wrong about that game than any game this year because we probably should have won. But neither of us liked the Pitt game. We knew that was going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, it was. And then the officials added to the loathsomeness of that game. And this feels like a sleepy Sunday afternoon, you and I texting each other in the second half of a tie ball game with 8 minutes to play going, well.
32% from the field.
Yeah, just doesn't it? It just feels that way.
Well,
some kid going crazy that never does for BC. Some kid just hitting threes left and right. Like, look at this son of a bitch. Will somebody take his legs? I mean,
off the window, all that kind of stuff.
All that stuff.
We'll say this segment, and I'm going to take the blame here. It might prejudice your pulse taking. I think it's like sprinting before you get your pulse taken.
Right.
So maybe some meditation tonight because you're the one who's on the pulse now.
Oh, well, and I'll have a better answer tomorrow. I'll give
think
you the official.
Yeah. So my pillow action tonight. Rest up.
Well done, sir. MyPillow.com 4-pack special, still humming right along. Their best special ever. Free shipping to boot. Forget about it. You want that. You need that. You get 2 big MyPillows. You get 2 go-anywhere pillows to boot. They ship it for free. They guarantee it, money-back guarantee-wise, all the way through March. And what else can I say? Promo code 979ESPN. Use my promo code 979ESPN when you go to MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com. Click that 4-pack special. Can't miss it. Type in the promo code 979ESPN. Get their best offer ever sent to your door. You'll thank me for it, and you'll sleep better. It's a good thing. MyPillow.com.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Company will help sports books reach new customers through TV, radio, internet, and digital video marketing. It will also help companies navigate local jurisdictions' laws and regulations regarding gambling ads. ESPN's ex-president is trying to beat his former employer at its own game. John Skipper is trying to become the Netflix of sports. Skipper, the executive chairman of sports media startup DAZN, has just signed boxer Canelo Alvarez to the richest athlete contract in sports history, a $365 million agreement for the rights to broadcast his next 11 fights. And that is a Bloomberg Business of Sports report. I'm Michael Barr, brought to you by Grainger. For safety and industrial supplies, Grainger's got your back. Visit Grainger.com.
Not many things scare me, kid. Vampires, werewolves, children, not one bit. But you know what does scare me? Downtime, inefficiency, scares the living daylights out of me. That's why I use Grainger. They're America's #1 source for industrial supplies. Plus, they've got the inventory management solutions that keep us running. So we've got uptime, we've got efficiency, we've got productivity. When it comes to keeping your facility running, Grainger's got your back. Call or click Grainger.com to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere. Or here.
Or here!
One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Yo, where the hell are you? Dude, I'm here, sitting at the bar. Where are you? The hell you are? I've been here for 30 minutes. Erroneous. BS. I've been sitting at this bar for 3 hours drinking pecan whiskey. We said Pensacola, dude. Why would we meet there. We're old men, and that's for the kids. Hashtag Northsiders.
Did you just hashtag me? Ask.
Hashtag hell yes.
See you in 30. Get the mahi and a beer. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
This is Chris Kraft with news that is sure to change the car buying landscape in North Florida. Our brother Peter and I are now the proud new owners of the Infiniti dealership in Tallahassee, the all-new Kraft Infiniti. As Mercedes-Benz dealers for over 25 years early in our careers, we know how to sell and service Highline vehicles the right way. At Kraft Infiniti, our mission statement is simple: to provide our customers with a car buying experience that is unsurpassed in value, consideration for your time, and pure enjoyment. Finally, the Highline experience you deserve, and it's from the Kraft brothers. Infiniti is much more than a brand name. It's a lifestyle and it's a statement. And at Kraft Infiniti, Peter and I will go beyond your expectations in providing the best sales and service experience in Tallahassee. So come see us at the all-new Kraft Infiniti, beyond your expectations, and brought to you by the Kraft brothers. Kraft Infiniti, 3355 Capitol Circle Northeast, conveniently located between Home Depot and the I-10 flyover. Call 297-1488 or visit us on the web at craftinfinity.com.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You must learn. Jeff, email. And the person actually wrote, Jeff, email. This is to you and me, by the way. And, Tom, he feels strongly that we nailed it yesterday in our discussion about the frustration in the fan base. This is from Chris. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. He got a text, he says, from a friend at Clemson that simply read, "What the hell is going on down there?" All I could say was, I have no idea. That was the text that he got from his buddy after seeing James Blackman's name in the portal. A lot of people sent similar texts yesterday, including my father, sending me a text from Georgia. What the hell is going on down there? Call me tonight. That was the text. So I think we were right to address the growing concerns of our fellow Noles, but it wasn't altogether surprising, and it is something that I think until you see wins isn't going to go away. I mean, I really think that every move, everything you read on a daily basis, when we don't get a recruit, well, that happens. Sometimes recruits pick other schools. That's not abnormal. But when that happens, the thought goes instantly to, there it is again. We didn't get another guy. We're just failing all over the place.
Well, I think what this staff is doing is a pretty good job of recruiting in the face of a 5-7 season when you look like a bunch of unprepared a-holes on the field a lot.
Succinct and accurate, sir.
But that's, I mean, seriously,
yes.
If you could get this thing to top 15, you go 5-7. Who the hell pulls that off? If you want to look at it from
good recruiters.
If you want to look at it from a positive perspective, that's the way I'd look at it. Is God, man, how good do you have to be?
I think that's a objective, not positive, but an objective view of what's going on here. That's not you putting on garnet and gold colored glasses. That's anybody that's paying attention. If you go 5-7 and look like we looked
in your first year,
and lose to everybody who's any good at all,
blowout
badly,
Central,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring back a top 15 class. I think any objective viewer would go, well, they can recruit because I don't know how they got anybody to say yes to that.
We'll see if it actually is a top 15
you're right,
class.
you're right.
But I don't want it to sound like we're moving the bar here. You know, the bar is the same. The excellence here. But the problem is you got to deal in reality. And the reality is we went 5-7. If you go 7-6, you make a bowl, you win the bowl game. If you go 8-5, you go 7-5, you win your bowl game. You probably finished with a top 12 class, top 10 class. But you had a disastrous season with wins and losses. It's what we talked about in the preseason. It's just now it's the cold reality.
Well, and there's just nothing until, I guess, yesterday was a schedule day, but I mean, until National Signing Day, till you get yeses from certain key targets, it's awfully hard to talk about anything other than the only thing you know, which is that we sucked last year. That's just the talking point. People, the impetus for this is a combination of things. It also included, in addition to James Blackman adding his name to the portal, the news that Jalen Hurts was going to Oklahoma. I think an inordinate number of Florida State fans actually thought Jalen Hurts might come to Florida State. I wasn't one of them, so I didn't view that as anything. That's just when the official announcement came out that he was going to Oklahoma, I went,
We were hoping against hope that we could get him.
Oh, I would listen. I wanted him. I thought it would be a temporary relief while we're rebuilding the offensive line to have a guy of his scrambling ability. But I didn't assume we were going to get him, and I didn't view it as a failure that we didn't, because I didn't know. I mean, look what we're competing against. It's one thing to get a high school kid or a JUCO kid even to say, okay, I'll buy in. I'll come to Florida State. I know you guys struggled last year, but I know you got a long-term vision. But a one-year guy that's went 26-2 and won a national championship and is choosing between us and our offensive line and Oklahoma or potentially Maryland, where his offensive coordinator went to be the head coach. I mean, we really didn't have a good chance there.
Not to completely repeat the talking point of yesterday, but it's what it symbolizes that a guy like James Blackman, who was the picture of a perfect teammate last year, exploring options means when you don't have depth at the position. It's just you combine all of those things, and it feels like you're up against it even more. Now, Kendall Briles at some point will speak publicly, and when he does, it will be interesting to hear beyond what the tape says from his other jobs, Houston, FAU, and then obviously back in the day at Baylor.
Yes.
What do you want to do on offense, run pass-wise? I think that's the biggest difference, or the biggest question I have. What's the difference between you and Willie's philosophy? Do you want to pass the ball more than you run it? Do you want to run power to set up the pass? Do you have a physical element to the tempo you're running? Like, everybody wants to do everything, but when it comes down to it, and you get down to your principles, what is it that you want to do well here? And what kind of quarterback at that point we can determine fits the scheme.
Be best best suited there.
Because James may not fit it, but the problem is you don't have enough bodies, and he's capable to be a bridge. I think we've all seen that dude can be a bridge when you're only expecting to win 8 or 9 games in the first place.
Yeah, I guess, yes. I not having answers, being in limbo also is fueling the fire of angst. You're correct. I mean, I think there are a lot of questions, and we could keep going down that path. What are we running? What kind of quarterback do you want? Are we ever going to get to talk to you?
Can you work with what you have if you don't, if the roster doesn't have what you want?
But I guess, again, since we're revisiting that topic from yesterday, it would be important to also note this. I said yesterday on the show about Blackman putting his name in the portal doesn't necessarily mean he's leaving, and it's a new reality for all of these universities, even in places where it seems that things are working out swimmingly. Fast forward 24 hours, Texas. Okay, we just found out that Shane Buechele is like, yeah, put my name in the portal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we didn't see that coming. I mean, he was the talk of the bowl season and what they had coming back and how Herman's got it rolling and all this, and now that.
Well, I mean, he's their backup, but yeah.
But I'm saying that everything appeared to be moving in the right direction, and everybody –
See, that one I don't mind, though, because he was the kid who played.
He lost to Sam Ehlinger or whatever.
Yeah,
he lost
exactly.
his job. But I'm saying when a program is healthy and things are moving, I don't mind either. I'm not saying I don't think this reeks of discontent and dysfunction.
No, he's not going to be able to play.
And so it's not surprising that he's leaving. But what I'm saying is this is the new norm now where kids that don't win jobs or kids that are slightly unhappy or kids that think that their value lies elsewhere, they're all going to put their names in there. This is going to be the norm now. It's gone are the days where you have a quality backup quarterback and you're stable in the situation, because the second a kid realizes it's not my job, he's going to do what he did. They're all going to leave.
Well, but that's the key. It's not my job. Does James believe it's not his job? Is that why he would do it? Or is there something more there? Or
yeah, well, that I don't know.
Either one of those two things is not good news for us. Because if it's not his job, then whose is it? You know what I mean? Like,
I
if he doesn't think it's his job.
Right. I'll go back to him sending a message to the staff. We're going to have a sit-down, guys, about where exactly am I. No, but I think he did this in order for that to happen. I don't think he gave them fair warning, like, hey, I'm going to put my name in the portal, and then they're like, whoa. You know, I don't think that happened. I think he just said, I'm putting my name in the portal. That'll get their attention that we need to sit the hell down. I want assurances. I don't know this. I'm speculating, by the way. But I want assurances that when we go out there in spring, that's my job to lose. Or I'm on even footing, worst case scenario.
Right, exactly.
Right.
My concern is that you have to go take that stance. You have to go take that measure in order to get a sit down. Why? You know, what's missing here communication-wise? Because this is an open competition. This job is an open competition. There is no Sam Ehlinger in the equation.
That's correct.
There's no Justin Fields. It's an open competition. That's the unique element of this. And then you combine
Which is why they probably didn't feel the need to tell him that it was his job, because it's not necessarily. But it doesn't mean it's DeAndre Francois either. It's that they want an open competition.
It still reeks of a lack of communication, though. And I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but damn it, man, the devil's in the details, and we weren't detail sound last year.
No,
and that's where we need to get better, and that's where that's where the CEO head coach is going to be involved here. But the issue is that you have an offensive coordinator, and it's his show, so he needs to be a good communicator. Just because Willie's turning it over to Kendall doesn't mean Kendall's a great organizer and communicator on his own when it comes to these types of issues. We got to learn about these guys. If you're not concerned and wanting to look at the details and comb over, I mean, when somebody keeps screwing up, you look over their shoulder eventually, right?
Without question, and I'm not saying that everything is roses right now. I'm just being careful not to overreact to a news that a kid is putting his name in the portal as that being revelatory. Like all of a sudden, that's just it's revealing that we're still equally as discombobulated as we were in the season. I don't know that that's true. You had a lot of weird things going on. First of all, they're actively recruiting, right? You had most of this time.
Yeah,
they're closing in on signing day, the National Signing Day. They were trying to hire a staff. You know, they've got moving parts here and moving other guys around on the staff and trying to bring in Dugans, trying to bring in Clements, they did bring in Kendall Briles. I just think that it's easy to understand how there wasn't a moment in time where they sat down with James Blackman and said, oh, by the way, I hope you feel pretty good about things here. You know you're the starter. Like, they're not going to do that.
I understand your point, but there was a dead period until last week. You had from the 23rd of December through New Year's and then some to sit down or at least exchange some sort of, text message chain. To me, this just looks like you could have communicated a little bit better. Now, I hope it's the last of its kind of things.
Yeah.
He won't be the last kid at Florida State to put his name in the transfer portal, but if there wasn't an open job here, no problem. No harm, no foul, but there is a job for the taking. I mean, damn it. Wouldn't you want to be the quarterback at Florida State University? And if not, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. I think these kids all want to be loved. They want to show it. They want to be showered with praise at all times and be told they're the guy. You're right. I'm sure that's true. And
he sucked it up all fall, though.
No, he was awesome. He's a good kid. I'm not saying he's spoiled or anything like that, or that he's being a prima donna the way that DeAndre Francois is off the field. But yeah,
clearly he has a breaking point where he's like, well, good God, guys.
Yeah,
my Job over here? You going to spit a plague down from on high?
Drew writes, email, Taggart era off to slow start. Jeff, email, 2018 was a terrible season. Our concern here, dude, is Taggart and his staff were supposed to be great recruiters. So far, the 2019 class does not show this. Elite recruiters, all caps, overcome bad seasons. Picture of a guy holding 2 huge sacks of money. Underneath, he wrote hashtag Georgia model. Regards, Drew. Thanks, Drew. Well, to our point just a moment ago, I think elite recruiters somehow salvage a top 15 class after going 5-7 and looking like ass.
If we hit that number.
And that's just, look.
He can blindly sell hope last year to salvage the class he did. There were no results on the field, so you're just buying track record and you're buying the living room. But now you have a lot of film out there, and you've had kids visit this place that are still considering Florida State did not sign an early signing day, and what they saw was, I don't know, a place that didn't look all that buttoned up, right? So that evidence is hurtful when you're trying to secure signatures. Last year, you could just sell the blind hope. This year, they're going, I'm going to believe in you in spite of A, B, and C.
You're up against a lot here for a lot of reasons, and it's why this year is so important. Really, it is, frankly. Let's just say it for what it is. It's his make-or-break year. In year 2, he's in his make-or-break year because Clemson is a giant, and you're not going to beat them. They're going right now, not with that kid at quarterback. So you're not winning ACC championships because they are. They're in your division. So if a kid has a choice, as we saw, unfortunately, with the offensive lineman out of Tampa, between Clemson and Florida State, why aren't they going to Florida? Why are they going to Clemson? For obvious reasons. Florida had a good first year. Dan Mullen is not an elite recruiter, but you keep winning games, you recruit yourself at Florida. And he's done pretty well and closed late here. So now in your own state, you got a problem. Manny Diaz, I don't know how he'll do as a head coach in Miami. And Miami's broken in a lot of ways. But he's doing the right things initially. I mean, he is a Twitter coach, and he's throwing it out there for all the world to see, and kids are getting, quote-unquote, hyped by this. So he'll have the initial uptick in enthusiasm, excitement, and interest from recruiters. You cannot be stutter-stepping around in the dark out here looking like a bunch of idiots who don't know what they're doing again this year. If you do, we're buried, and you're done.
Well, that's the thing. It's a make-or-break year, not because we need to win double-digit games in the regular season. It's just you got to look buttoned up. You got to be buttoned up and help yourself. It's not just about the wins. The wins obviously are the biggest part of it, but then there's the details too. You just got to look like you got organization on your side, and that's clearly what Willie's saying. If you're saying to yourself in the car that that's too harsh of a statement, it's not. Willie just handed over the keys to his offense for this express purpose. He's telling you by his actions.
Yes, that's exactly what he did. Yeah, no. And I don't think he would, I mean, maybe the phrasing or the characterization that we're using of what this season represents might be to some hyperbole, but I don't think so. I mean, if you go 7-5, make a bowl and look terrible, and you've amassed 12 losses in 2 years. No, I don't think people. You gotta win 8 games next year, I would think. And really, you're right. How you win those 8 games? How do you look against teams that have a pulse? How organized are you? I've never had a problem in rebuilds. When you run off some kids and you're bringing in a different kid to change the locker room and all that, that maybe in the midst of that, you lose some games to teams who have better players, more continuity. They've had a coaching staff in place for 7-8 years, and they've had elite classes. Because then you're looking out onto the field going, we're a right guard away, we're a defensive end away, we're a quarterback away. That's a different conversation than we had to use a timeout out of a timeout. We don't have enough guys on the field. There's another pre-snap penalty for motion.
I don't disagree with the idea that it's a make-or-break year. I mean, it's not impossible. Dabo went 6-7 his third year and slowly built something, and then once it did, I mean, the crescendo, it's still
Obviously,
going.
it's taken off.
It's still resonating throughout all of college football. Now, Alabama has to look at them eye to eye. Not down on them. They look at them eye to eye. But what I'm talking about, Willie's actions are saying, I got to get a whole lot better. We need to get a whole lot better as an organization in so many more areas than what I'm going to game plan and install for on a given Saturday.
But isn't that the thing that you celebrate? Isn't that the thing that you're most excited about, is the recognition of that after 1 year, the realization that, my God, a lot worse is going on here than I realized, and if I don't get this righted now, I'm going to be out of my dream job, so I better act accordingly and go bring in the best offense coordinator I can, let him take control of that side of the football, and I'll organize all this other stuff over here that is in disarray. That, to me, is a positive sign.
It is a positive sign. I don't know without the results it outweighs the concerns that have been raised in the last year, though.
Exactly. And it goes back to the original part of this discussion, which is that without the wins, none of this really matters. I mean, you're going to get various levels amongst different people in the fan base of concern, right? It's going to be, well, I don't see a way out of this. I think that we screwed it up. We got the wrong guy. That guy exists. He's sitting at the bar stool somewhere. The next time you sit next to somebody as you order food to go, that guy's kind of, it's 1 year. He inherited a nightmare. People don't realize what a mess it was behind the scenes with Jimbo. It's not surprising to me that it culminated in that 5-7 season. Let's see what he does this year. And then the next guy you sit next to goes, well, it was worse than I expected. I know it wasn't a great situation, but he didn't make it better, and so I'm a little concerned. There's the 2 fingers to my eyes guy, right? That's various levels of concern through 1 year. I got it. He did the right thing at the end of this year, though, in understanding that it is a profound impact behind the scenes that he has to have right now in order for that to happen on the field. And so I'll go get Kendall Briles, and I will then at this point decide where this operation is failing and fix that. Now, maybe he fails. Maybe he doesn't end up fixing it. Maybe he's not good at that. I don't know. None of us do.
Well, that's the concern part is I'm hopeful because he didn't double down and say, well, we're doing things the right way.
Right.
You know, we just need to hold course and things will turn around for us. Well, that would be worrisome. And I think everybody, short of the blind optimist, would say, oh, boy, it's going to be a long couple of years here.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't do that. So you have, it's more than a tinge of hope, but it's not exactly over 50% of the pie. So you're going, okay, all right, I see you. Now, we're going to have to wear it in this recruiting class because this recruiting class, the legacy of this group and what they've seen is terrible. So they're still feeling 5 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do with it next year if we look buttoned up? And then maybe we can restart this thing. Plus, you also have his track record if you want to fortify that hope and saying, he does start slow. He's a slow. If this is about 4 quarters and a tenure, his first quarter always sucks. He's down 17-0 at the end of the first quarter, but he finds a way.
Yeah, and it's what I brought up yesterday, that I have to rely on that track record. That's all we have to look back on. We know the year, the first year here was terrible, but we also know that he's had bad first years before and then been able to turn it around, and that's a real big deal. I mean, that's the most encouraging aspect of all of this.
I mean, he clearly did soul searching in Tampa and found an answer when it comes to changing.
Well, and that was an even bigger one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they had 2 wins. They were a mess, the whole deal. And then all of a sudden, he's like, you know what? We're going to change up everything. And then they win 17 of the last 20 games, and they're rolling. Hang on to that one.
Yeah, tight.
Hold on tight to your dreams was a ELO song.
It's like holding on to, like, mom's arm, when you see a stranger when you're a toddler.
Please tell me this is going to work. Madison Social right now is where you want to be. Certainly all of College Town's got it going on Thursday. We've got the Taco Thursdays, the twofer. And then, of course, you've got the Social Agreement, which is, man, you're drinking bourbon. You've got burgers. You've got wings. You got the whole damn thing. And then we got cheap pizza over there, too. Forget about it. Today's your day, and parking's been worked out. Go over there because they have free parking now, and it's no longer the hassle it originally was. They're admitting that, but you're good to go now. You can park without a problem and go in there and tackle the food and the goodness that is, savings on a Thursday. I'll say that. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
In the groin. 2 days earlier, Rodman went for a rebound against the Minnesota Timberwolves and tripped over some camera equipment. Upset about his fall, Rodman kicked Amos. The suspension would cost him over $1 million.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoking, I couldn't even imagine doing that. I don't think anyone, including myself, thought that I could switch.
Carolyn made the switch October 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Ah, the bull elk's bugle, one of nature's most wondrous sounds. That is not a bull elk, that's Kim. Her RV sewage tank is spewing all over her camper. Way, way out in the middle of elk country. Yep, there's an elk. And that's Kim. It's wild out there. When it gets too wild, Progressive has your RV covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Chris York with Monogram Art. While our name mentions monograms, we are a lot more than that. We offer a full line of corporate apparel to businesses and organizations, and we carry clothing brands such as Cutter & Buck, Nike Golf, Port Authority, and caps from Richardson, Outdoor Cap, Ahead, Yupong, and many more. We have the ability to create custom embroidered apparel that your employees will be proud to wear. So swing by our showroom at 2522 Capitol Circle Northeast or find us online at monogramart.com. Let us help you wear your brand.
Time now for your Tampa Bay Lightning Minute, brought to you by Township of Tallahassee.
Tonight in Tampa Bay, the first-place Lightning hosts second-place Toronto for their second meeting of the 2018-2019 campaign. Tampa holds a commanding 16-point lead over Toronto in the standings, and things are tightening up in the Atlantic Division in positions 2 through 4. This is the Lightning's second-to-last game before a prolonged week-and-a-half off in which the NHL All-Star break combines with their bye week. The Bolts took the first game of the season series with Toronto 4-1 back on December 13th, a night where the team's top netminder returned to the lineup with fury. Andrei Vasilevsky stopped 48 of 49 shots, a franchise record, to mask the type of defensive breakdowns the Lightning are still trying to tighten up this month. Tampa Bay is coming off a 3-game road trip in which it went 2-1, and after tonight's tilt with the Maple Leafs, the Lightning host the red-hot San Jose Sharks on Saturday night. With your Lightning Report, I'm Tom Lang.
At Township in Collegetown, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins and a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. Oh, and let's not forget the 32 taps and private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
Imagine your dream carpet installed for free. The Home Depot offers all-inclusive installation on minimum purchases of $699. That's removal of your old carpet, basic furniture moving, and stairs, so the dream carpet you want comes at the price you were expecting. Free carpet installation that's actually free. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing. Valid only on showroom carpet price $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers including CGC 1514813 and CRC 046858. Available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Yankees have reached a 3-year deal worth $27 million with reliever Adam Ottavino, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan. The 33-year-old righty went 6-4 with a 2.43 ERA out of the Rockies bullpen last season. It's conference championship weekend coming up in the NFL. Saints take on the Rams on Sunday in New Orleans. Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
I've always had that appreciation. Listen, I had the chance to be a part of some great teams here and a lot of playoff games. But yeah, three NFC championship games in 13 years. It's a hard game to get to. That's for sure. And so we won't take that for granted.
Saints are currently 3.5-point favorites over the Rams. Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette has officially filed a challenge with the NFL for Jacksonville's decision to void the guaranteed money in the final 2 years of his contract. Texas quarterback Shane Buechele has entered his name in the college football transfer portal. Sources told ESPN's Mark Schlabach that SMU is a potential landing spot for Buechele.
With the Vivid Seats app, it's easy to find awesome seats to any game. And all purchases are backed by their 100% guarantee. Go to the App Store or Google Play and download the app and enter promo code CHAMPS at checkout to get 10% off your first order.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
We're all just hanging on until Sunday. Trying to get to L.A., New Orleans at 3 o'clock on a Sunday, and New England, Kansas City that evening. Other than that, it's just kind of like, well, hold. We don't even have Florida State basketball.
No.
Well, we do have the soccer guys tonight.
We have the soccer guys coming up next.
Which I like.
And there's a Lightning game tonight of importance, as you've heard in the Lightning update this afternoon. And
yeah,
you got your
my
gear
Lightning
on.
gear on tonight. I'm ready to roll.
Sporting my gear. You know, I'd like to believe it's a big game because it's first versus second place in our division, but we're 16 points clear of second place.
Rather remarkable, isn't it?
So Toronto comes to town. It's going to be an entertaining game. Should be pretty high scoring for anybody who wants to
play hard, right?
Yeah, if you want to randomly check in on a hockey game on a nothing night, well, try it out. Fox Sports Sun 402 on your Xfinity dial, and it starts about 7:40 p.m.
Looking if there's any action for Big Daddy out there, meaning gambling action. Ladies, please. Big Daddy's looking at Islanders giving a 1.5 with the total being 6. I think the odds makers have figured some things out here.
Well, the Islanders are playing lights out hockey right now.
Yes, they are. And that's minus 160, so I'm not going to touch it.
Hottest teams in hockey right now are the Islanders, the Lightning. We just keep on keeping on. Calgary, San Jose, and Vegas. Everybody in that group is winning a lot.
Feeling very good about the minus 1.5 of the Rangers against Chicago.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lightning minus 1.5 nets you plus 170. That's interesting to me. Now, I know empty netters are what they are, but plus 170 if you lay a 1.5, that's pretty nice.
I think I'll do it, Tom. I think I'll do it tonight. Big Daddy, you feeling that good, are you? I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, this one I think so. So they've got 2 games before they get a week and a half off. And I would believe if they're going to air it out,
it's going to be tonight?
Tonight instead of, yeah. And if you look at us coming back off of road trips, we are quite good. So why not tempt fate here?
Give the 1.5. Big Daddy, go ahead, cue it up. Let's play a little Big Daddy loving right there and make it happen. We haven't done it in a while. We want some Red Russians to flow this evening.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
Into an open wing. It's picked up by Doughty, an empty net. He scores.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again. Red Russians all around, Teddy.
All right, Big Daddy.
And in addition to the Lightning giving a 1.5 tonight, let's ratchet things up. I'm going to take the over 5.5 goals total between L.A. and Dallas.
Interesting.
Taking the over.
Okay.
It's going to be 6 goals tonight in that game.
Okay.
6 goals going into the net.
Dallas needs to give you 4 of them.
I'm aware.
If Dallas can get you to 4.
Little 4-2 action.
Yeah.
It's going down like that. You don't like to pick.
No, I mean, Dallas played well. Last game was against the Lightning, so I'm very versed in how they're playing right now. They have a lot of scoring, but L.A. does not. L.A. is, they don't score goals.
They also get lost in the shuffle these days. It's weird that they have a hockey team in Los Angeles that nobody talks about.
That won 2 cups in short order.
I know. It's crazy. It's like, people forget about them. It's bizarre. Good work out of you, sir. Good work, Matthew. The glory of Big Daddy J and the Red Russians. Let's hope it happens tonight. Soccer guys up next. Stay tuned.